beside him while he was saying that.
It would have been appropriate.
Oh, do we finally have everyone for a week?
Yes, we do.
Damn. God damn.
How's everyone?
Good.
Doing.
Do we actually have everyone? Haven't heard a peep out of Aldrin yet.
I'm here.
Hey.
Oh, barely hear him. Freezing.
Yeah, I gotta turn you up.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Oh, what's that thing called? Start working.
Okay. So, does everyone roughly remember where we left off, or would you like a refresher?
Slight recap would probably be nice. This is for Allergen's sake at the very least.
Certainly. So, last week, the gang split up a bit. One went off on a ship full of dwarves. A ship, if I recall correctly, is called the Tear of the Ocean. I think that was the name of the ship. But anyway, yeah. But you headed off, Aldrin, with a bunch of dwarves to try and. That was a lot of noise. To try and.
Sorry.
That's cool. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. To be able to follow and harass the fleet of Morning Star. We'll see how that's going in just a moment. The rest of you went on to Tyrinia, where you split yet again. Lee going with Philbin after doing some nerdy investigation stuff to attempt to hunt down and capture or acquire or something the person who donated the gigantic lobster that is within the Museum of Nautical Construction, in the hopes that it is somehow going to lead to a magical net that is good enough of a net to be able to actually capture and catch Tiamat. Fingers crossed. Unfortunately, the only thing you had to teleport to that area was Great Claw himself, and it's not too much of a surprise that the place that he was most associated with was in fact the bottom of the ocean there, or rather the White Sea. So it took some time, but with the aid of your incredibly good swimming goat and a floating device, also known as the flying broomstick, upon which Philbin was perched, you were able to all make it ashore eventually, and we'll see how that goes. The rest of you, along with a temporarily lost tour group of NPCs, made your way towards the City of Hope via teleportation. While there, you checked in with various individuals, discovered that apparently many of your guards are no longer in the inn, and they are living in a cabin, seemingly built with the aid of individuals in a local fishing village, whom Oshiguro has drafted? Enslaved? No, that's not quite the word. They don't seem to be worshiping him, but it does seem to be a following of a kind. Not quite a god, but cult-like behavior may be involved. But who knows what happens there. You also met up with Walt and Jesse, some of the smartest people in the entire kingdom, who were able to talk about some elements and some primal shapes and, materials and various other things. But overall, a lot of looking around and looking to find things didn't go too well. You found out that Bahamut has a new host that he seems to be enjoying being in. And you took very few steps towards killing the king, which to some observations could be a good thing. And you all currently are in the basement looking at, Mollymort and many of the NPCs are in the basement looking at the heart, while the rest are upstairs in the hallway outside of the Queen's chambers trying to figure out what to do next, if anything. I think I got everything. Any other details?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Pardon?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a lot to sum up, but that's roughly where things are currently. But let's figure out where Aladrin has been. So, Aladrin, you have been set out to sail with a couple of dwarves and the specific intention of catching up to Morningstar.
Uh,
These dwarves, some of them are sailors, some of them are construction workers, most of them are basically just idiots. But they're loyal idiots, sort of.
that I can work with.
Exactly. You're not looking for, chiseled stone. You're just looking for a little bit of clay to make use of. No big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, what exactly is your intention? What are your orders to give to this very? they're going to try so hard. This crew that just really wants to impress you.
Until we find Morningstar, it's just make sure we catch up to Morningstar.
All right. They continue to sail as fast as they can. This is one of the quicker ships, and you're not very heavy with cargo, specifically so that you might be able to catch up with them. These very large ships that they have, their flotilla, seems to go quite slow, so you're pretty confident you can catch up to them.
Alright.
You continue to sail day and night. Go ahead and let's go with let's go with like a general sailing check. Just something. What do you think you can do to aid this crew? Like, how are you? What skills can you bring to bear?
Well, I have proficiency in sea vehicles,
You do.
so I suppose I could steer, but that would most likely require a survival of some sort, which I'm not good at.
Of course, steering is only one part of this entire thing. You're not
Yeah.
merely steering. You're the captain of this ship. It's been
Yeah.
a long time since you've really been in command of a crew.
Yeah. I will lead by example, and I will be in charge of hauling sails, moving the sails in whatever direction we need to go,
Mm,
so on and so forth.
all right. So just sort of general charisma with
Yeah.
proficiency for sailing.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a sailing check using your charisma stat.
Alright. That's low. Plus proficiency or no?
Yes, with your proficiency.
Okay, so that's 5 plus.
That's a low
9.
number.
So
That's
6.
also
Yeah, I
a
think it
low
would come up
number.
to 9 total.
Did you even roll the dice? Was there a dice number in there?
Yeah, the dice number was 5. I have a charisma of +1.
Well, you also get your proficiency. That should give some.
Yeah, so that would get me up to the 9.
9. Wonderful. Wonderful. Very nice. So you're able to get a 9. You were saying, Lee? Hmm?
Oh, so it would be a 10.
Yes. You should have a +4 by this point, I would think.
Yeah.
So, a 10. Yeah, you are marginally successful in getting most of them to do some jobs. Not great, to be honest, but everything's going along mostly because you're just doing everything. You're constantly doing most of the things. It's as if it's a one-man crew and then a lot of living cargo. But you are chugging along, and your hope is that even through all of this, that you're going to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. We've not gone into Aldrin's backstory very much.
Mhm.
On these long moments on the shore after giving orders, do you ever have any sort of nostalgic moments of when you used to be a commander of in your home kingdom?
I think about it a lot, especially now with everything going on with Tiamat. But
Mhm.
I try not to think about it because it's home and I don't want to get homesickness, and it'll distract from the impending battle.
Yeah, well, it will distract. I mean, How long after you were, let's just say it, defeated while
Mhm.
battling a Kraken were you exiled?
I believe I was in a coma, an unconscious state for a week, and immediately
At least.
after,
Yeah.
after I woke up, that's when I was banished.
Oh, that is rough.
Like,
Does
hey,
Al?
you good? Yeah, okay, get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get out. Oh man, that is tough. I mean, in terms of like for Allergen, I imagine that he's pushed not only just like there's probably a lot of hurt pride there. Not so much in the whole letting down his oath or whatnot, but also just like he wasn't strong enough in that moment.
Yeah. It's also why he stood on guard when they expected the fleet to come by.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna let it happen again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did Aladrin, was he full on sort of in his barbaric rage then, or was he just sort of a run of the mill fighter, but for whatever reason failed? Like, is this like part of the root of his rage?
It is part of the root of his rage. He didn't wear armor, so he was a barbarian back then, but
Mm-hmm.
even still, he got the absolute snot kicked out of him.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it was somewhere in there. That is tough.
He doesn't
Anyway.
really know if the lightning powers he have came from where he was, came from the Kraken. He doesn't know exactly where they come from.
There's probably a little bit of short-term memory loss in there too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable. Oh boy. Anyway, so you're on the high seas.
Mm.
Everything is moving along pretty well here. In terms of
Yeah.
keeping a watch, presumably you've got someone constantly on the lookout, right?
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be at any point in the lookout, or are you going to depend on them to keep a lookout?
I'll probably be in the lookout at night because I don't have to sleep the same way they do.
That's true. Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check to keep a lookout in between your naps, your contemplative naps.
Mm. That's higher. That's a 17.
That is much better. Yes. On the second evening, you are able to see in the distance. Yeah, that's definitely the silhouette of a ship.
Mm.
And as you look even further, you think you see a second one. So you're kind of almost in between them. There's one off to the far right in front, or starboard as they say, and then one far left on your port. And they are both ahead of you. And
Okay.
you don't see the rest of the bulk of the flotilla. You think they might be some sort of rear guard or scouts. Maybe they leapfrog or who knows what, but they're definitely part of the ships that you were looking for, but they're not the entirety of the ships.
Hmm. How many hours until sunrise?
Until sunrise proper, the sun is a little slow this time of year. It'll
Mhm.
probably be another 4 hours before it's up proper.
Okay. I will wait until then, and at sunrise we will go for one of the boats.
All right. In fact, before then, as you continue to watch, it's almost like they kind of are starting to close in a little bit. They're still heading in the same direction as you,
Mhm.
but they clearly have added a couple of degrees, and it's like the walls are closing in.
That's fine.
All right. When the time comes, do you want to go more towards the one to starboard or the one to port, or do you want to let them just come in at you?
Coming at us.
Okay. The crew, I'm assuming you let them know roughly what's going on,
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah, I give them the details.
Do you have them make any preparations?
I will give them one of the magic cannonballs, the red cannonballs,
Hmm.
and tell them when they're ready to make their escape off that ship to throw this as they're leaving. They will go for the one on the left. I will go for the one on the right.
Fascinating. Interesting. All right. Get a little dwarf on dwarf action.
Yeah.
So, the time eventually does come where these ships are much closer. You can see as they get closer in that not only have they been carefully moving in, it takes a lot of coordination to be able to keep equidistance. These must be, well, there's no other way to say it, some terrific seamen that they're able to carefully ease in and also stay equidistant with the other. They don't seem to have any communication from one to the next. They just are coordinated through maybe practice or tradition. You're not quite sure. And they have lowered their sails to allow you to catch up to them. And as they trace basically track behind. But all of a sudden, as you're watching them, they both make hard turns away from you. How do you want to react in this moment? They both seem to be making like 90-degree turns away.
Is there something going on with the water?
You don't see anything going on with the water. Everything's sort of clear skies, and in fact, as the sun was able to rise, you're able to see, you think, just at the edge of your vision, miles ahead, at least the beginnings of the flotilla. So you're getting within sight, potentially, of the main fleet. But they don't seem to be responding to anything. You don't see any water. You don't see any distractions. It's a clear day, clear sun, early morning. They break off left and right. You're at the wheel. What do you do?
I go for the left.
Look
Alright.
up!
You hurl it. You start spinning off to the left. Do you want to keep it full speed, or do you want to drop down the sail?
Full speed.
All right. You keep up at full speed and start to curl to the left and follow around, and you can see that the boats, as they turn, they continue to circle around. You suspect that they were going to try and turn on you so that they can kind of get you in a double ram. But as one on the one on your left that you followed sees you turn, that one begins to go straight while the other one comes in behind you. And you're now in the middle of a Morningstar sandwich, essentially. Or you don't really define sandwiches by the type of bread you have, so rather it is an Aladrin's ship's sandwich with Morningstar ships for bread. Okay, the analogy's gone. You're between two Morningstar ships.
Yeah.
Dion, tell me you recorded that part. That was good.
Yep, it's all here.
Okay.
Are we in boarding distance to one of the ships yet?
No, but you think that if you drop your sails immediately and turn hard, that due to the nature of the other ship being heavier and slower, it probably won't be able to stop in time and will ram into you, but you will have the opportunity to board it. That would be the fastest way to be able to board. You think that you could slowly make your way up to the ship ahead of you, assuming it doesn't do anything tricksy. But that will take longer. And it gives them the initiative and the choice of what to do.
I give the order to the dwarves that we're going to let the ship at the back ram us. And,
you see a lot of very I don't know about that, boss kind of looks.
and to prepare to board.
You hear a hearty cheer at the prepare to board. They seem to be quite excited about that as they heft up several. It almost looks like the tools that you would use to make some kind of a road. I think there's picks and shovels, and it's gonna get medieval up in there. But
yeah, I will also direct someone to, as senior magic cannonball handler and tell them to not let go of those no matter what, and to bring those with us when we board.
The person who you've affectionately come to know as Skippy the Dwarf, who is akin to a first mate, he asks, well, hang on, if there's only one, do you want us to throw the ball on it still?
No, we're taking the boat.
He gives a very missing toothy grin and nods eagerly. Now, you at the helm, go ahead and make, I would assume somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe dexterity? What skill do you think would aid to navigating these waters best? I would think dexterity, maybe strength.
Yeah, probably dexterity, because it's all about trying to make sure you don't. Well, in this instance, it's trying to make sure things do hit you.
Yes, but you would certainly get proficiency too. You were saying, Fionn?
I was just gonna say dexterity, because like it's about babying the controls and feathering everything into place.
Yeah, I would even accept maybe some wisdom, because knowing when to make the turn.
Ooh.
I have a terrible wisdom.
Okay, probably not that one then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the dexterity.
Oh, shit,
Okay,
I would have
go
went
with-
with wisdom.
Yes, go with dexterity and add your proficiency for sea vessels.
Natural 20 for a 28.
That is tremendous. Which side do you want this ship to hit you on? Port or starboard? Left or right?
Starboard.
All right. Your crew is readied. They've got their weapons out. They're holding onto ropes and the side of the ship, and they're prepared and braced, and they are ready to pounce. And you take one last look over your shoulder and essentially slam on the metaphorical air brake and twist the wheel hard, just putting yourself in a perfect T-bone position as the bow of this second ship, which unfortunately seems to actually be made for ramming, but okay, that's not important right now. It smashes into the side of your ship, and your crew, being very ready, immediately toss out ropes and hooks and drag in, and start to bind the ships together, making it impossible for the others to get away, while a couple of them even try to jump the gap as they can. Well, one goes over, another one gets there, and the other one gets across, and they start to defend the ropes the best they can, while the others try to drag the ship in and drop ladders, and oh man, they're doing everything they can. Do you want to get in on this invasion, or do you want to stay ship?
I will get in on the invasion.
Nice. Do you want to wait for a ladder to walk across like a bridge, or do you want to do some Trixie Jack Sparrow crap and swing across on a rope, or do you just want to just leap from ship to ship?
I'll leap from ship to ship. I feel like that will
Nice.
have a larger impact.
Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check. You get a good running start.
That's a natural one.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. What is your total?
That would be a 10. A 10
Alright.
total.
See, that's the thing, is even on a natural one, you still got a 10. That's very impressive. But you get a good running start, and you first step, you jump up onto a small crate. Second step onto the railing, and you hurl yourself out. And you realize about 4 feet away that you only got about 3 feet left to jump. And you find yourself, I'm assuming you have a weapon in hand?
Yeah. I
What
have the
weapon?
axe.
An axe?
Yeah, the great axe.
Okay. Is it in both hands or just one hand?
I would think for the jump it's in one hand.
Perfectly fine. You have the opportunity here, since they don't really have portholes and cannons on them, they're mostly ships with infantry for ramming, but you have the potential opportunity to wedge your axe into the side of the ship to be able to hang on and give you something to climb on. Would you like to do that, or do you want to just go into the water, which I know for you is not a big deal?
I'll wedge the axe into the side of the boat.
Nice. Go ahead and make an attack against the boat to see how well you can get this thing stuck in there.
19 plus 9 would be
Yeah, oh yeah,
14.
yeah. This thing, you notice that you've only got a little bit more of a jump left, and you stick this sucker right in there, and it gets good couple of inches stuck in there. You think it'll take a moment to pry it out if you need it, but you're able to hang entirely on the handle of your axe and use it to climb up from at least a little bit. But unfortunately, you're just too low to be able to grab onto almost anything else. Have you got anything else to climb with, or do you want to wait for your crew members who are basically like freaking out and also screaming?
I have smaller weapons. Like I have a hand axe. I have hand axes.
Okay. You being in a position you are, this is not a difficult task to sink a hand axe into a wall that is literally made of wood. You are able to pull it out, whack into it, break your battle axe off, whack into it again, and in just a moment you are on the deck of this ship, and you can see the rest of your crew, most of them at least, are swarming onto it, while other dwarves that are on the ship. In fact, you're basically greeted with a 5-wide phalanx of red and blue shields of the Morningstar Corporation, as they apparently were prepared to defend against boarders.
Punch Morningstar.
You know, side note, like, I almost feel like it's more terrifying to see the ship commander jump from ship to ship, fail the jump, and then climb the side of the ship with his hand axes.
I know, right?
This is a relentless man. He has a one-track mind.
Yeah.
And it mostly involves violence. All right, Aldrin. So, like I said, you've got a 5-wide phalanx. You don't know how deep, and you've got several crew around you, at least a dozen of mismatched dwarves with various types of weapons and scraps of armor, essentially.
Yeah.
They seem to be holding, and you can hear them speaking in Dwarvish behind the iron curtain, as it were. Do you speak Dwarvish?
I do not.
Okay. You can tell from the yelling that it's probably a commander saying hold and wait, essentially, along those lines, because there's only so many orders you could be giving.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
I am going to start fighting my way towards the commander.
All right. You just simply step forward towards the shield wall. Just out of a curiosity, do you happen to want to rage, or do you want to continue to not?
I'll rage. I'll see if that can whip the dwarves up on my side into a similar frenzy.
All right. You roar like a beast and charge in, battle axe in one hand, hand axe in the other, etc., etc. Okay. The two closest spearmen, I'm going to guess 14 is not going to hit, right?
No.
Yeah. You're able to just easily brush past these two spears as they attempt to reach out at you, and you're able to bash yourself against their phalanx. Go ahead and make an, this is pretty straightforward, basically just a strength check at advantage, because you are raging.
Yes.
Or in athletics, in fact. This is akin to just, like, pushing them.
Alright. 28.
Holy crap. Yeah, even against, let me see if I can do the third. Yeah, even against the three in the middle, you're able to just bash through them and knock them back and some of the people behind them. Clearly making quite an easy hole here. The rest of your crew following behind. And you can see the wide eyes of a commander standing there with a sword in one hand and another shield, as he was not expecting you to get through that quickly. He is going to attempt to swipe at you while cursing, presumably cursing, because you don't speak Dwarvish, but what can you really be saying at that time? I'm going to guess a 9 doesn't hit.
Nope.
No. The rest of your crew is doing about as well as you would expect them to do, and the phalanx against them are doing a little better than you would want them to do. But what would you like to do now as the entire deck of the ship breaks into a melee?
I'm going to grab the great axe, and I'm going to, very much like Babe Ruth hitting a home run, I'm going to try and hit him off the side of the boat.
Do you call your shot?
I do.
I'll give you advantage if you call your shot.
I do call my shot.
You give advantage on this attack. Surely from the intimidation factor.
Oh, with a performance like this, I wouldn't doubt it if the Morningstar soldiers were like, okay, you're the commander of the ship now, we're your new crew, let's do this.
That's very unfortunate for him, because it is a natural 20.
Oh my god!
Man,
What
bet
part
that
of
they're
the axe are
regretting
you-
bringing it in and mocking you?
Exactly. What part of the axe are you hitting with?
If he dies, he dies, that's unfortunate. But if he doesn't, I want to throw him off the...
Well, yeah,
Off the side with the
describe to
blade.
me how you want this to look. You accomplish whatever it is that you want to describe. What does this look like to me? What does it look like to you? Tell me.
Swing with the axe, and the blade would hit him right in the abdomen. He would probably try and defend with the shield, and it would just cut through and throw him from the force off the side.
All right, the blade comes in. It breaks through the shield. You don't want to know what it does to his hand underneath. The blade comes into the abdomen, cuts in, but doesn't go all the way through him because of his armor. And you're able to, with the continuing strength, just follow through, because follow through is important, and hurl his clearly very injured remains with a nice ribbon of arterial spray following behind him as he goes overboard. And the remainder of the crew on the ship are horrified at how quickly things went very bad, because they'd been working for hours ready to like jump you guys, and wow, this is not going the way they hoped.
More, Aldrin.
Yeah. Are they still in fighting spirit?
They seem to be. I mean, they're continuing to. They're not giving up. They're continuing to stand strong. Do you actually have another attack if you take it? I think, right?
Yeah. I will look for whoever I think to be the second in command is.
Well, you seem to have eliminated the sort of infantry commander, the person in charge of these Marines here. But it appears that the captain of this actual vessel is further aft. If you wanted to go after the command crew.
Oh, yeah. I will start fighting towards him.
All right. Unlike this particular ship, or rather, unlike the ship that you were on, which is a sort of traditional layered, or rather a more flat, small ship, very quick. This one is a more traditional layered sailing ship with different compartments. And so you're able to, running past all these individuals, let me just see how, okay, this dice is absolutely awful. Just running past, these are just opportunity attacks as people try to hit you and you just continue to go. I haven't rolled a number that's higher than double digits yet. That's unfortunate. But
that's really bad.
I know, right? But yeah, you're able to make your way past, bursting through crew who are trying to slash at you with sabers or stab at you or anything. But you're able to run full on towards the essentially probably navigator, first mate, captain, the whole command crew. They are not prepared for this melee. What would you like to do?
I'll just start swinging. I'll just start cutting them down.
All right. Go ahead and make a couple of swings while they try to respond. What is your AC sitting at anyway?
17.
17. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Behind you, the battle doesn't look great. Unfortunately, you do have much more armored and trained troops going against some relatively not trained dwarves. And go ahead and make your second attack of this turn, essentially, or whichever, in fact, because you probably use... Well, anyway, go ahead and do something.
The attack is a 24.
A 24? Okay, yeah. Are you going after? Imagine you've got essentially three there. It looks to be like sort of head navigator, captain, and first mate. Which one are you going to go at first?
Hmm.
And you can tell based on how much bling each uniform has, whether how important they are essentially.
Yeah. The captain first.
Okay, yeah, you're able to cut him down. It looks like the first mate was able to get a slash with a cutlass against you,
Hmm.
and that took the very high number of 8, which you can reduce by half because you're a raging Hulk.
Yeah. So that'd be next to nothing. So, and then the second attack would go to the first mate in
Okay.
retaliation,
Go for it.
and that is another crit.
Yeah.
I turn him into gelatin.
Entirely. You put a chemical change on him by hitting him so hard.
And I just want to see how the head navigator reacts to being hit with static electricity.
Just for funsies.
Yeah, just for fun.
All right. He rolled a 7 on his reflex save.
Oh, that's horrible for him. He would take 4 lightning damage.
Okay. He takes 4 lightning damage. He essentially just kind of gets aside. He doesn't appear to be dead, but he seems to be feigning to be dead. He's just down and he's got his hand over his face. He just doesn't want to be involved in this. You happen to notice, yeah, you happen to notice as you look back that it looks like, oh man, easily half of the guys you came aboard with have been slaughtered by the remaining phalanx. They're just stabbing along, and they seem to have formed a kind of not so much a box defense, but they're trying to take care of one side and separate the ships and then focus on you, or at least hope that you don't notice them. But basically, your dudes are losing pretty hard.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the head navigator,
Okay.
and I'm going to pick up the captain.
Well, yeah. What are you doing with your axe at this time?
I'll drop it.
Okay, you drop your axe. Got it.
And
you
I'll just
pick up these two
throw
individuals.
them in. I'll throw them into the phalanx.
All right, one that's still alive, one that is clearly very dead.
Yep.
You go ahead and make. Let's go with a improvised heavy thrown. So I don't think you're going to have proficiency. Well, no. Then again, you have killed multiple times by throwing. Yeah, I think at this point you probably have proficiency at throwing for individuals. So go ahead and make a improvised heavy ranged attack. So strength plus proficiency plus roll.
All right.
As you attempt to hurl both of these projectiles.
That is a 24.
Okay,
15 plus
then,
9.
all right, and for the second attack?
I want to see their reaction first before I commit to anything. How do they react to seeing their captain dead be thrown into their midst?
Well, it probably wasn't their captain necessarily, Navy and infantry being what it is. But they are not pleased, definitely. Most of the individuals here, they seem to be fighting against your crew, while a couple are still facing you just in case. But as you hurl it in, they're quite surprised, and let me make dexterity saving throws for them. One is able to dodge out of the way, and the other is just completely buried under this individual. He seems to be pinned and trapped, but they are not happy about it.
I'll shout to them and give them one last chance to stand down.
Okay, I'm assuming you say this in common?
Yeah.
Okay. You shout out something that, for all you know, is just not even able to be heard by them. They might be extremists who only speak Dwarven, but you shout out to them one last chance to surrender. I'm assuming you're also holding the cowering navigator who is shivering in your hands.
Yeah.
Half face covered in carbon from the lightning.
Yeah.
Also, I like to imagine that there's just a Monty Python-esque, just one dwarf standing on the side of the ship translating.
In the lifeboat, a scholar appears, and but you notice at this moment, as you focus looking at them at the sort of prow of this particular larger ship, which is still rammed into your own ship that you brought. You also notice that apparently the lead ship, having seen this, is turning around and is coming straight towards your ship, fully intent on ramming into it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just letting you know how that's going. The individuals that are on ship do not want to surrender. So,
Unfortunate for them.
the crew, on the other hand, seem to very much want to surrender. But the phalanx, essentially, they seem to be more extreme in their form-held beliefs of it's okay if we die to the death, that's okay. But the crew don't want to die, and many of them are, yelling out, "We surrender!" But the guys with the spears and the shields are, seeming to either not notice or not care.
All right.
How do you respond?
I'll pick up the axe and start wading into the phalanx.
Do you still wield the navigator?
No.
Faces of that.
I'll throw him into the phalanx as I'm coming down.
All right, make another ranged basic attack. Improvised heavy range.
That is a total of a 20.
Okay. You're able to get 2 of them this time, while the one that dodged the captain seems to be charging straight towards you, spear in one hand and shield in the other, and he seems to be, wanting some personal combat here, and is standing toe-to-toe to you and makes a stab with his spear, and that is, wow, really low numbers. And behind him, the remaining standing phalanx stabs one of your crew members, and one of your crew members, stabs him. And finishes off one of the ones that's down. Most of your crew seems to be dead or dying, but they are recovering now that you've knocked down several of the remaining shield wardens here. But one is still standing toe-to-toe, having tried to stab you twice and failed.
I will... I'll swing at him.
Alright, go ahead and make a swing at him. The rest of the crew of the ship is just cowering and staying out of your way.
The first attack is a 21.
Okay. The first attack is a 21. That, yes, does in fact hit.
And that is... 19 damage.
Jesus.
Wow.
Is he still up?
Let's say no. He's in the very least, he's falling down. Dead, dying. What's the difference in the long term?
Yeah.
It's around this time. I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw as the second ship rams into yours. And you hear loud crashing and splintering as, again, these ships that are made to ram this thing just goes full speed right into your ship.
Dexterity save. That is a 19.
Okay, you're able to keep your feet while most of everyone else falls down. Although most of them are still cowering, but the guys that are fighting, half of them fall down, and they seem to almost be, again, mostly dead or dying. But your ship, you can just see just splinters as likely large chunks are broken off. That's you're gonna need more than a coat of paint, because it's got the opposing side of another ramming ship, and it wasn't enough to cut the ship in half.
Yeah.
But you know ships enough at this point that that thing's going.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a new ride.
Yeah. It's fine. My plan was to start once I started attacking the Morningstar ships was to just hop from ship to ship whenever we took a new one.
Well, good news. You did step one. You're
Yeah.
on a new ship. Unfortunately, most of your crew is dead, but you got some new cowardly crew here. Maybe they'll help. What would you like to do? Looks like there are still 2 phalanxes that are still somewhat moving, and you have only 3 crew members left alive.
I'm going to look at the phalanxes, tell them to not be stupid in common.
All right. They look at each other and attempt to stab you
Oh,
at the
that's
same time. Good God, what? Okay, that one's a higher number. 17. That one hit.
yes, that hits.
1 hit out of 4. 1 hit.
I was waiting for one to roll on that one and accidentally block the other and possibly get stabbed by the other.
It's just obscene. Okay, you take 8 piercing damage, which you reduce to 4,
Yeah.
as they both attempt to just start stabbing into you. And one of them, you can feel it actually did something.
Hmm.
Almost made you bleed your own blood. Almost. It was only 4.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I want to swing and try and hit them in the same swing.
Yeah, go for it. See if you can cleave on through. They are right next to each other, and you do have a great axe.
That's not a high number. That would be a total of a 14.
That is not a high number. Amazingly, go in to cleave in, but this one is blocked by its shield,
Mhm.
and it just about knocks him over, but it doesn't go through.
And for the second attack, God, that's still really low. That's a 13 now.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. They're getting some confidence now as you try to swipe in, and the other one is able to dodge it. And you can essentially, you can hear one of them, probably the more senior, calls out. You recognize the sort of cadence to his words to know that this is probably some sort of a drill that they've run for, when to stab. You've been in enough military training that, this is some sort of a drill cadence. Anyway, they both try to simultaneously stab you again. That's a hit. That's another hit. That is only 16, so no. And so 2 hit, which is better than nothing. Okay, you take 18 damage, which you can reduce by half, as 2 of these strikes hit into you, and they actually start to separate from each other, trying to flank you. Basically doing like a semi-rotation,
I say, you brought me into the double digits. And then
What a
I
terrible thing.
recklessly hit one of them.
You attempt, at least.
Yeah. But that is a 20.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
And that is 9 points of damage.
All right, you're able to hit in on him. But he's still alive.
And then I will recklessly hit his buddy.
Okay.
That is a 20-something, 24.
Yep.
And then that is 16 points of damage to him.
All right, you're able to fell him in one swoop. Able to strike him down, and this last guy seems to be very frightened. But because you are attacking recklessly, it attempts to attack back, and it has advantage now. You were attacking recklessly. That's a miss, even with advantage, and that's a natural 20. Okay. So, let's see, 15. You take a 19, which you can cut in half. Again, as this thing, this last remaining resistor on this ship is attempting to hurt in while the rest of your crew is doing what they can to tend to their fallen comrades.
Yeah.
You can still feel the ship kind of moving under you. Presumably the other ship is doing something, perhaps separating.
You said he's afraid, right?
Who wouldn't be afraid in this situation? He's facing an almost certain death.
I mean, hell, probably the only reason your last attacks missed is because you slipped in the massive puddle of blood.
And piss. Don't forget piss.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to get down to eye level with him and ask him if he really wants to die for Morningstar.
Okay, roll. Is this a persuasion, or I'm going to say it's intimidation?
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, there's no way to just be persuasive at this point.
Yeah. That is a natural 19 plus 4 for a 23.
That is pretty darn good. You can see, essentially, like while the fight was just going, he was able to convince himself that it's the right thing to do to die in battle. That this is the path. But as you continue to show him mercy after mercy, and everyone that he knows in the world, essentially, or at least within hundreds of miles, is now dead. And through all of this, you can just see tears. Just his face just breaks, and he drops his spear and his shield, and he just backs away from you until he hits the railing, and is just looking at you. And he's slowly crouching down, just defeated entirely.
I smile, and then, now how far away is the other ship?
No, unfortunately, well, actually, no, because you're on a much larger ship. If you go full towards the bow, then you can probably see it, or some places a little higher up, but basically from the sides of the ship, you can't see it, and you can't really quite see over the bow to see the other side, these being somewhat identical ships.
Yeah. I'm going to pick up one of the magic cannonballs
Okay.
and walk to somewhere where I think I can, if I throw it, I can hit the other ship.
Yeah, you can get to the bow of the ship, definitely. And because this ship had rammed into yours, and it is conjoined, and presumably the other ship is roughly on the other side of it. So you could, in theory, throw this across your ship onto it if it is still stuck on yours.
Yeah. Can I see if it's still stuck?
Yeah, when you get to the top, it looks like they are. They've got these long, sort of hooked pikes kind of deals where they're trying to separate the ships, presumably to be able to build up enough speed to go around, but they haven't had time to separate yet. And they are still exactly opposite of you, the whole crew, standing there with gleaming. You
Is it
there?
working now? Yeah, okay, now it's working.
Cool. So what would you like to do?
Like a shot put, I want to throw the cannonball onto the ship.
All right. Presumably their ship, not your ship, right?
Yeah, onto their ship.
Just want to be sure. So,
I knew this was coming, but I was expecting it to be with, a person, not just an actual cannonball being shot put.
just an actual cannonball, just tossing that sucker. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, this thing's fairly heavy. Go ahead and make another. Let's go with let's go with an athletics, like you said, like a shot put. Go make an athletics attack, and god damn it, you're still raging, so I think you get this at advantage.
Yep.
Okay.
16 plus 9 is a lot.
It is. It is a lot. You do the full-on twirling. Yeah, I'm assuming you like drop your axe, you pull this thing out, and you do the full-on dance with it on your shoulder. You're remembering your days in college, I guess. I don't know, but you come around with your guiding arm and you hurl this cannonball, and it flies out from this ship, goes over where the bow of the ship is combined and stuck on yours, goes past over most of the crew that are trying to separate the second ship, and it just continues to go in, and it just lands right at the feet of the commander of the other group of phalanxes who are standing there waiting for an invasion or to invade. And you just see this red ball just going in, and as soon as it drops, there's just a flash and you feel it before you hear the boom, and fire erupts on deck as the whole thing just seems to be blasted apart. We're out of initiative order now, but essentially, you're able to stand there a moment and watch the other ship very quickly sink, while your ship also sinks, and the ship you're on, being connected to your ship, also begins to sink. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna start cutting the ropes and dislodging and disembarking.
You alone, or do you call out to the others?
I call out to anyone who can still move.
Start giving orders to start cutting ropes. Get that down.
Yeah.
Get this set. Do all of those other important things. All right, Go ahead and make. Let's go. Well, what would you be on this one? Would it be continuing on intimidation or persuasion fully on, or just like a general charisma with advantage for sailing, just to try to inspire?
I would think because they just watched me kill a whole lot of their people, it's still intimidation.
That's fair. Yeah, go ahead and make an intimidation check to order them around a bit. Your crew, of course, doesn't need it, but they'll do it. Your remaining 2 crew members.
That's an 18.
Okay, that's pretty darn good. They just focus on going to task, and they are, setting up everything. Your crew members are coming forward, and chopping at stuff just to try and get the ropes separated and pushing the ladders aside, and everything. You're able to get separated. As you can see, the first ship, the black soot coming up and some flames as the last little bit goes under, and the ship that you arrived on, the Tear of the Ocean, goes down with it, having essentially been cut in half between these 2 ships. And you notice that you're disconnected from it, but the bow's not coming up again. It seems to be slowly sinking still. Perhaps it suffered some sort of a damage when it rammed you. Do you want to order them to go down, or would you like to go down?
I'll take whoever can still move and go down with me because it needs patchwork.
Of your crew or of the crew that pre-exists?
Of the crew that pre-exists. My crew needs to rest.
Yeah, rest / bandage. But you're able to grab a couple of them, and as soon as you put your hand on them, there's like a start. But they are able to follow you along and be able to go down, and you can see that they are clearly. I mean, there are some loose boards here. Everything is sort of. You think one section of the ship actually got kind of. It wasn't secured properly. When it hit in, it looks like a couple of these sections of the keel actually kind of broke in, like they're getting out of alignment and the gap is wrong and water is leaking in. They look like they're probably going to need to get smashed back into place.
I'll do what I can with mending and have the crew actually start repairing what they can.
All right. It looks like some of the crew are coming over with some mallets and they're hitting on it, and it's just they're not getting these sections back into place. It looks like the seal is able to get mended in some areas, but because the gap is so large, it's not like something's broken. They're just separated.
Mm.
You think it's going to take more of a hit?
I'll take one of the hammers from the crew and try and bash it into place myself.
All right. I'm assuming your rage has subsided by now, so go ahead and make
Yeah.
a strength check without advantage.
We can always count on Allergen to hit things until they work.
Exactly. Little percussive maintenance never hurt anything.
That's a 15. Just
That's
pure strength.
You can see the water reverberating around, and the boards seem to creak a little bit, but it looks like they didn't quite get there. You think it's going to take a little bit more to really oomph this section of hull back into place. You also probably cursed the lowest bidder in whatever crap town this thing was built in.
I'll keep trying to bash it into place then,
Give it another check.
and that's lower. That's an 8.
Oh man, it's been a long fight. This is a whole lot of stuff going on here. Oh man, what are you doing here? Or go ahead and give it one more try just to see if you can do it. It looks like some of the crew are coming with patches. They're gonna try and fix what they can, but with the front of the ship dislodged, you don't know where else there's damage. But go on.
24, natural 19.
All right, you really boom and slam into this thing, and you can see immediately some of the water trickling through in the entire line. Essentially, as they put these two pieces together, they're just out of alignment, and bam! As soon as you hit them, they're back in, and the leak subsides. And some of the crew that you brought down kind of go ha 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 and cheer a bit and pat each other on the back, and then go to pat you on the back, and with their hand held high, they don't. They back away. But they begin to patch up the ship and help with the leak.
Yeah.
Would you like to go back up on deck?
I'll give whoever's not repairing the order to tend to the wounded and the dead.
Got it.
And then I'll go up on and keep an eye out for more ships.
Okay. You can see the direction that the flotilla is going, and making able to go towards it. Would you like to steer towards? Make that your
Yeah.
heading? All right.
Yeah.
You go up and start to turn the wheel, and the ship leans and turns into the waves and jostles. But you've been on the water long enough that your sea legs are strong. And go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
All right. 20.
All right. You're able to keep yourself from falling,
Mm.
and it's extremely quiet all around you. Where before you had the creaking of wood and the occasional yell and shout of the men around you, and the waves breaking on the ship as you make this hard, heavy turn. The wheel in your hands. In fact, the creak of leather as your hands tightly hold the wheel, and it just stops. The entire world just goes still. And a bright rectangle-esque shape, almost two-dimensional in a three-dimensional world, opens from the bottom to the top on the deck beside you. And Arata in a white Komodo with a cigar in one hand and some sort of a scrying mirror in his left hand comes out, and he is looking at the mirror, and he looks up at you and he says, "You got a problem, kid," and he's pointing right at you.
What did I do?
He says, "You're dead."
Am I?
Yeah, you're dead. You're totally dead. And he shows it to you. It's just a mirror. You have no idea. And he's poking it, and he says, "Yeah, you died. It says here you were killed by a Kraken."
No, not recently.
He's like wide-eyed and nodding. He's like, yeah, you're dead. You totally died. You got eaten. How are you? You're here. You're not supposed to be here.
Well, I'm not. Not dead.
He's like, look, we have a lot of fun, and it's really great and everything, but you're going to get us into a lot of trouble because you're supposed to be dead, and this is an error. And if Mistress sees this, then we're all going to be in trouble. Okay, this is going to cause way too much heat. You got to fix this.
How am I supposed to fix being dead?
Well, it says you were eaten by a Kraken, right? So go not do that.
I've only ever seen one Kraken, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was looks around getting the bearing about 1,600 miles that way, and he points off sort of in the west by basically almost dead west, and that's roughly where the kingdom is that you were defending. And he says, yeah, a couple years ago, not a couple, quite a few, you never know these days, but yeah, you were eaten by a Kraken. You got to fix this.
You mean the thing he's wearing ate him?
Yeah, he is wearing a Kraken skin, but he's saying, look, you got to fix this.
I wasn't eaten. I was smacked.
He's like, look, you really going to argue with me? Look at this thing. And he shows you, and it's just a mirror. You just see yourself in it. And he's like, look, it says it right there. You were eaten by a Kraken. This is unacceptable. This is a problem. You're going to get way too much heat on all of us, and we're having fun, and that's fine, and that's good, and it's all great, but this is not going to be good. You know what? We're going to fix this. You're going to go back, and you're going to kill that Kraken.
I can't kill a Kraken.
What?
Do you see me? I'm like
Look,
a pinky
you guys-
toe to this thing.
You guys took care of all those werewolves, everything was fine. Y'all are tough. Y'all are really tough. How about we just can we get all your friends? Then can you kill the Kraken?
Do you not see the size of a Kraken?
He shrugs, and he's just like, look,
A
it's
Kraken
this or
could
we
use
all
me
go
as-
to jail.
A Kraken could use me as a toothpick. It could use Fiona as a toothpick.
He says, actually, looking at this, it actually needed a toothpick after it ate you.
See? See my point? I'm not gonna go
It
fight a
feels like
Kraken.
we've got bigger problems than a Kraken right now. I mean,
Here's the idea, right? Why don't you go find the Kraken and get it to fight Tiamat? See what happens.
He sighs and he says, I can't. The Kraken's dead.
Who killed the Kraken?
He keeps looking at it and he says, says you did. And he shows you the mirror again.
So why am I in trouble?
He says, well, because you haven't done it yet.
Then I'll get to it later. Don't worry about it.
And he shakes his head. He says, no. We're not getting the heat on us. I'm not getting midnight coming after me. And he presses some more buttons on the mirror, and the rectangle opens again. And Lee, it gets really quiet on the beach. Had just gotten past, basically. There we go.
Sorry, my thing keeps getting robot-y for people. It fixes with disconnect, but you know.
All right, you good?
Yeah.
Cool. Lee, you're on the beach with Philbin and your goat. You had come to this town, and then everything was pretty well. You had just, everything was going fine. But now it's really quiet. Like, no more waves, no more anything. And then a white rectangle opens up beside you, and Arata in a white kimono and a cigar and carrying a hand mirror steps out and yells back, come on, hurry up.
hey, it's
To
Arana.
you, Aladrin.
I'll step through.
Aladrin comes through, soaked in blood and wet, like the usual.
Oh, hey, Aldrin, what are you doing here?
Apparently,
Before we leave them all behind, should you bring the crew that you brought with you?
that's a good
They're not-
point. But
The rectangle closes, and you are on the beach. The universe is still. You can see Philbin. It looks like he's about to fall, but he's, the universe is frozen. The goat looks like he's about to laugh at Philbin, who is about to fall, but he can't because he's a goat, and also the world is frozen. But
That's a Zen Buddhist riddle I really want the answer to. What is the sound of a goat laughing?
I don't get it. Anyway, but Arata comes to you, Lee, and he says, so Aladrin thinks that he can't kill the Kraken on his own, and he shows you a mirror, and, you just look like you, Lee. And he points at it, and he says, I need you guys to go take care of this, because look, it's complicated. I'm not supposed to be playing around with time, but I am, and I'm on other people's turf. If they find out that there's a paradox going on here and it's still active, then we're going to get in a lot of trouble. So I need you guys to do this pronto.
I think I understand. So you're saying that Aldrin was killed by the Kraken, but now he's being sent back in time to kill the Kraken. So he did save himself. He just hasn't done it yet.
Correct. And if he doesn't, then we're going to get in trouble because he's supposed to be dead, and yet he's not. And
Aldrin, did you hear that?
And there's an incomplete paradox, and then that's going to draw the attention of Mystra, the goddess of magic up there. If she sees it, and you guys draw all kinds of heat. And if they see this, and then they're going to wonder what's going on, and then it's going to go to me, and then I'm going to be in trouble.
Aldrin, you never failed. I grab him on the shoulders.
This makes zero sense. I take up the stick and start drawing in the sand. Right. Here's where I was.
Oh, another white rectangle opens up. And Mollymore, in the basement, for whatever reason, the necromancer who is inspecting the heart just stops moving at one particular area. And then a white rectangle opens beside it, and the Rada steps out yet again with a cigar and yells back to the rest, "Come on, hurry up, we gotta get the rest of them." I don't know why you guys split up all the time. And he's poking a scrying mirror again, takes a puff of a cigar.
Molly's probably in the middle of talking to Zora, and then she trails off, looks over, sees Zora frozen, sees Zarada. Her shoulders slump, she sighs heavily, and she says, "Okay, let's go." And she pokes Zora before walking off with him.
He goes to show you a scrying mirror. As you look at it, you can see that it shows an odd sort of array of pictures, and it seems to be essentially like a loop that's going around. And one of them is a picture of Aldrin dead, and it's being eaten. Imagine like a recycling logo. One of them is Aldrin, one of them is the Kraken, and then the other one is also Aldrin. And essentially, he's saying that there's a problem. And anyway, but he's calling the rest of them, "Hurry up, come on guys, come on, hurry up."
Arad, I don't think you understand. We can't kill a Kraken.
He's like, yeah, that's not my problem. Hurry up, come on.
Hush your mouth, Aldrin. Of course we can.
I beg to differ.
He shows you the mirror again, and he says, "Look at this. You can't deny this." And it's just a mirror.
I see a bit of silver behind some glass, Arada. It's not anything helpful.
He says, "That's a really weird metaphor. Hurry up."
Look, what I'm saying is, we can't kill a Kraken.
Can you have that discussion on this side of this time teleporting door, please?
I throw the stick at him and I come through.
A stick goes through the white rectangle, and then soon Aldrin comes through. Lee, do you also follow Aldrin?
Of course.
All right. You all find yourselves in the basement of the City of Hope, next to the heart. And he's basically like, "All right, they're just upstairs. Can we just walk?" Huh?
After all this, you'll put us back, right?
Says, yeah, sure, no problem. And he takes another puff of a cigar and taps the mirror again and smacks it a bit. And another white rectangle opens up. And Oramus, you and Theon are outside of the Queen's chambers trying to figure out how to kill the king. When a white rectangle opens beside you. But immediately Arada walks through.
Fionn
And
God
looks at you
damn
both.
it, what do you want now?
Yeah, Fionn sees Arada, holds his hand up, and pulls out a cigar and lights it. Cracks his neck, and he goes, "What are we fighting this time?"
He says, "Our Kraken." And he moves his hand, and you all can see his arm on the other side in the basement, compelling you all to come forward. And he says, short version, Aldrin got eaten, but he can't be eaten because he's got to kill the Kraken. So kill the Kraken, because otherwise we're going to get in a lot of trouble. Thumbs up?
Got it.
Got it. You guys saved.
What?
You saved the Valley of Man. You did a good job. You got the werewolves. This is no problem. I'll owe you one. Fair?
A werewolf is
I'll hold
nothing
you to that.
compared to a kraken.
Wait, I thought Aldrin didn't defeat the Kraken. Wait, is this one of those not yet, but he will because you know what? I don't need the explanation.
Lee's already tried to explain it to Aldrin, but Aldrin hasn't gotten it yet. But
God.
I think Lee thinks he knows what it is because he reads a lot of fantasy novels.
Yet another white rectangle opens, and he walks through it, going, "Come on, quick! We got. Well, I guess we technically have all the time in the world, but we don't have a lot of time."
What?
Aldrin,
You'll owe each of us.
it's Aldrin.
Okay.
Just follow. We fight big thing. We poke it. We cut. We kill.
Yeah, I know that. But a
Aldrin,
kraken, really fucking big.
Meanwhile,
Well, yeah,
Fionn
but-
is. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Aldrin, you're really fucking big.
Yeah, Aldrin, don't you understand? This is your chance.
Yeah.
Before you weren't able to defeat the Kraken, and it defeated you, and you were shamed. But in truth, the only reason you survived is because you came back in time and defeated it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It can use.
Yeah, it sure can.
Gross.
And we're gonna.
Arata comes back through, just sticks his head through the rectangle, and says, "Come on already!" and goes back in.
I ain't coming. I ain't coming through until you say you'll owe each and every one of us an individual favor.
He sighs, and he sticks his head back out, and he says, "Fine, what favors do you want? What do you want?"
Well, you
We
already
don't know yet,
walked
but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Fionn walked through. He was flipping through his bestiary to see if he's ever killed a Kraken, which he has not.
I'm already going through.
remember.
Alright, but he
We'll decide that later as I walk through.
Yeah, he asks if y'all got any questions or deals or anything. If you need them, ask now, because you might die. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might.
that's fine.
It's kind of what I've been
technically,
saying.
Aldrin already has, so
That's
no,
every day.
no harm, no foul.
All right, he says, so everyone's fine then?
Yep.
I guess.
He pulls out a vial and he looks through it. I should add too, when you walk through this next rectangle, it's like the staging room in the Matrix where it's just infinite white, just all around. It's just nothingness. But he pulls from his kimono a vial of some kind of looks like a kind of a grayish blue blobby liquid. And he shakes it up a little bit, and you can see the gray blobs mix in a lot more to turn into a more opaque blue kind of liquid. And it looks like it has an eyedropper on the top of it. And he tosses this essentially at no one, just like towards the group, and says, "All right, put these in your eyes, quick."
I catch it.
I do.
Okay. Molly Mort snatches up with a ring of jumping to grab it out of the air. And he says, like, 1 or 2 drops per eye should do it. Just hurry. And he continues to bash the mirror. You were saying, Lee?
He looks around for his goat.
Unfortunately, your goat is still on the shore.
No.
Anyway, so, Molly Mort, do you put the drops in your eyes?
Oh yeah, without hesitation.
Okay, you immediately do so. And, oh man, that stings. Oh, wow. When the first one stings, do you keep going with the rest?
I will give Arata a questioning look first.
He seems to be just beating the crap out of this mirror. You have no idea why.
I sigh and continue.
Alright, as you blink a couple of times, the burning sensation goes away, and then it feels really sticky, and then you have to work to open your eyes, but then it sort of clears up a little bit more, and as you look at everyone else, you see their auras.
Fionn, Aldrin, you're beautiful. Especially you out. You're just radiant. It's nice. Here you go, guys.
Does everyone get the eye drops?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Fionn puts them
At
in.
this point, we're
You don't, Eldred?
No, I do. I just don't trust Arata.
That's perfectly fine. You all have roughly similar experiences where it burns and then it gets sticky and then it's okay. But then you can see each other's auras. So, Aladrin, what does Aladrin's aura look like right now?
It's probably a gray storm cloud effect.
Does it have almost like a? It probably has, in addition to a gray storm cloud effect, does it have the occasional like fringe sparkle of blue lightning or purple blue lightning?
Yeah, like your Super
Yes.
Saiyan.
Nice,
Hell yeah.
very nice. Theon, what does your aura look like right now?
I imagine it's kind of like a shifting, like violet, kind of just shifting through different colors of purple
All right,
in a gradient, kind of in that cloudy pattern.
cool, very cool. Lee, what does your aura look like right now?
It's kind of more like a shell than anything else, and it kind of looks like almost a vibrating, like, you know how I described how the smite looks, where it's almost like a vibrating shell. It's kind of that yellowish color, and you can actually, looking at it, you can actually kind of very faintly like feel/hear the thrumming,
All right,
like a vibrating frequency.
you got it. And this is also the same like glittering yellow gold.
Yes, and
Very nice.
you didn't realize it until now, but you've always been able to hear Lee just very subtly vibrating.
Then it gets to the
That's
point
what that
where
was. I thought I just
Okay.
had tinnitus.
that's an adventure hook for another day. All right, Molly Mort, what does your aura look like right now?
Mine is like a dull copper, like radiating with like flecks of a nice royal blue.
All right, is it radiating akin to like the distortion over a hot fire, like boiling steam, kind of like almost like flame radiating, kind of, or is it just like streaks, like a Superman movie intro?
No, I'd say it's like it fades out. It's like a color that fades out.
Interesting. Copper and blue color fading. All right, what does Ormus's aura look like? What does it look like, Ormus?
I'd probably have to say kind of like a spell, but a little see-through so you can at least see him, with a red and orange lightning static electricity trickling through occasionally.
Very dark. Okay. All right. So
Probably happens when you have a pack with a demon mode.
you never know. And as you look at Arata, if anyone cares to,
I do.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the first thing
Oh,
Theon looked
yeah.
at.
Yeah. As you look at him, he's got, it's kind of, like graph paper, like blue lines, just boxy blue lines. Imagine if you had some graph paper, really big graph paper, and you just put it around a person. But it's just sort of like, it's crisscross streaks of blue lines that are coming off of him.
Oh,
It's a bit weird.
Almost like if you turned on hitboxes in a game.
this sounds like a
Kinda.
reference to the fact that he's a DM overpowered NPC.
Yeah, I love it.
You're not quite sure what it's about, but anyway, that occurs.
My meta knowledge says that this is the kind of aura that a DM insert character would have.
Something off of graph paper.
He's the mastermind, the planner,
Well, yeah, but at the same. Well, anyway, table talk at the end. So he essentially seems to have come to peace with his mirror. He takes a big drag on the cigar, and he looks at you all and he says, "You ready?"
I guess.
I haven't had a chance to ask you this because I haven't seen you yet, but how does this look? And Theon pulls his sleeve up to show his spell slot tattoo. Look right.
He grins and he nods and he says, "That's pretty wicked." And then he brings a finger down, and as soon as it touches the scrying mirror, you all are someplace else entirely. You have found yourselves. It looks to be sort of maybe mid-evening, late evening. It's tough to tell. You're marching in formation, although you're just standing still, so it seems to have broken out of it. It's a bit strange because you're clearly much bigger and in some cases much smaller than most of the soldiers around you. They seem to all be elvish. You seem to be marching on a road, and you're heading towards what is likely that very big, angry thing in front of you. Oh my God, that's Kraken. There seems to be a large Kraken, although it's tough to tell because you haven't seen other Krakens really judge size. But you see a really big, angry thing, and it seems to be just casually tearing up a dockside building. And ahead, you can hear the yell that you instantly recognize as Aladrin. And especially you, Aladrin, you recognize this because you've said it before as you call out, "For king! For country! For the people!" Ah! And he charges forward, and everyone else begins to charge, some of them in armor, some of them with spears and very little armor, and some archers in the back hitting them. And you all seem to be a bit separated. But almost immediately, a tentacle wraps around Aladrin, tosses him into the air, and then a lightning bolt strikes onto him as he's flung off, and everything drops into immediate chaos. So you can see, as you look around, just elven soldiers. But some of you, or rather some of the soldiers, have the aura of your teammates, but for whatever reason, they look to be elves. But anyway, as if they're possessing their bodies temporarily. Who knows what? Go ahead and roll initiative.
With our initiative?
Oh yeah, with you. You're still you, but for whatever reason, you don't look like you. But because of these drops, you can see who is who.
Still wearing heavy armor, right?
You're still exactly you.
Okay.
All right. So, Aladrin, what'd you get?
With my advantage, that is a 10.
Oof. To be fair, you just watch yourself get totally pwned.
Yeah.
Theon, what'd you get?
26.
26, that's a much higher number. Lee?
I've got 10, but a lower deck, so I go after Aladrin.
Got it. Molly Mort?
10?
What's your dex?
Higher than mine.
That depends.
I believe, yeah, Dex is just 1, so yeah, 10.
Okay, so you're kind of in the middle. Aladrin, I'm assuming your dex is more than 1?
Yeah, it's a 4.
Yeah, okay. So that's perfectly fine.
We all rolled 10, but I still go last. Damn.
Oramus, what did you roll for initiative?
You're still muted, Ormus.
Yeah, we can. If he's away, we can get back to him. That's okay. All right, and all around you, I'll add that, like I said, you see they look to be individuals with some light armor and swords, and then some individuals. Oh darn! Hopefully he'll be back soon. And hey, that was quick.
So,
What did you roll for initiative?
Still muted, bud.
Still muted.
That's a quick left.
Okay, well, Armus is having some issues. We can address that in total
Okay.
later.
There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I walked outside, lost service and Wi-Fi. Normally, it just
Unfortunately.
disconnects from Wi-Fi and stays with the service.
What did you roll for initiative?
I have to do that on
If you-
Discord. I don't have my dice on the board. Oops, wrong one. Plus 2. 18.
18. That is pretty darn good. And Kraken rolled that number.
I can't
And
believe this crap. I just saw a thumbnail that said, "Can a space mirror see your past?"
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
What the? Seriously?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's one of those science.
God.
I'm literally looking at it now. It's from Kyle Hill. Can a space mirror see your past? And it's got him looking into a mirror with a old picture of him.
God.
Weird.
What are the chances?
That is very strange. But Fion, you are basically amongst the several of these troops. You seem to have been with. Let's see. What did you turn into? You turned into one of the. There it is. You turned into one of the sentinels. So the people around you, you around you essentially. You can see that there's Aldrin and Lee really close, and they've all got swords and things, but you've just got your normal equipment. What would you like to do? This Kraken is just beat the crap out of other past Aldrin, and it's just there, and it's on essentially the docks.
Sorry, go ahead. I was
That's
just gonna
creepy.
say my connection's weird, so disconnect, reconnect real quick.
Question.
Weird stuff. Yeah?
What kind of mount am I riding? Because I'm riding a mount, right?
You're not riding a mount.
Oh no!
No.
That's half my thing.
Nope. Well, I'm very unfortunate.
Oh well. I'll be okay.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Lee dies of sadness.
What would you like to do, Fion?
How far away am I from the death creature?
Well, there are about 15 people in front of you overall, so but they're spreading out into chaos, which makes it a little bit difficult to move through them. You're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 feet away.
Okay, then I will.
And it looks to be like easily 20, 30 feet tall. It's huge.
I need to check action economy, cantrip, one action. Okay, cool. And I have all my equipment, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you're exactly you.
Okay, I will use my bonus action to do my rights on my weapons, and then I will move my full feet, and I will use my Eldritch Blast, Jesus, on the Kraken.
Okay, you are able to move quite a bit closer in the chaos because everyone is sort of getting into certain positions or more likely running away or running into trying to get to cover. It's a bit difficult to get past, but you're able to move forward. What's your speed?
30 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to get about 15 feet closer. So you're still some distance off, but that's not a problem for Eldritch Blast.
I need to see what my modifier is. +9, so that would be a 27 and a 28.
Both hit.
Okay, so that's D10s. That's 11 D10 or 11 force damage.
Okay, 11 force damage. Smacks right into this thing. It, doesn't seem to be too bothered. No big.
Oh, and I chose lightning rights
Okay,
for the sake of when I'm actually hitting it.
that might be handy. Let's see, you've got basically all your actions done. So, next up, Ormus, what would you like to do? You seem to be with a bunch of archers a little further back. You can see most of your friends ahead. What would you like to do?
How far away?
You're somewhere in the neighborhood of about 80 feet away. It looks like a lot of the archers were kind of getting into a kind of firing line position, but you're not an archer, so nothing for you to worry about.
Yeah, pretty much. I got 30 movement speed. I can get there in 2 turns. I'll go forth and just cast Eldritch Blast and
All
walk
right.
forward because that's what I got.
How close do you want to get, or how close can you get? Like full movement, what's your speed?
30 feet.
Okay, You're able to get quite a bit closer, but not all the way up to even where the rest of your friends are, because unfortunately some of it does get chaotic as there's an army panicking. So you are able to get about 20 feet out of that. So you're about 60 feet away.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. I shall roll for damage or attack.
Okay.
I just have to do this on my fucking phone. Mhm.
Let's see. Fionn got 15 feet away, so he's about 35 feet. Cool.
Does a 22 hit?
A 22 absolutely hits.
Okay, cool. So blast at 5th level. 2.
All right. What in terms of damage did you get here?
8.
22 thoroughly hits, definitely.
I don't think I get anything added to my Eldritch Blast, so
Yeah,
send it. Whopping 2.
Nice. You're
Wow.
pretty sure it probably didn't even feel it. I mean, it certainly hit it, but it doesn't seem to. The Kraken does not react in any way, shape, or form as you attack this with essentially your bread and your butter. Would you like to do anything else? I think you've got a bonus if you can manage it.
I will curse it.
Perfectly acceptable.
Once per rest, as a bonus action, you can curse a creature.
I was
for
about
1
to say
minute.
something simply profane, or is there a mechanic involved? But okay, yeah, you literally
let's see.
curse it.
Yep, so healing level plus charisma mod HP when it dies, critting on a 19, and dealing proficiency, bonus extra damage. I should have probably led with that, but hey.
Oh well, keep that in mind because I'm gonna forget it. This Kraken, having rolled an 11, beating almost everyone else in the initiative order, drags itself forward about 10 feet or so, and is able to get itself within range to grab. Let's see if he can grab one of the leading elves. Misses, goes after another, succeeds, and hoists it closer with screams and yells. And it's just roar, Kraken-y kind of thingy. Aladrin, you can
Yes.
see. I mean, you know that guy. You recognize them. You recognize all of these people. These are the men that you once commanded. They are going to chaos all around you, and one of them looks like it's probably going to get eaten in a moment. And you don't know where you at the time are. Like you just got hurled. You have no idea. And you're about 50 feet away from it. You can see Molly Mort in front of you. Fionn just ran ahead. Lee's beside you. What would you like to do?
You said there's someone who's about to get eaten?
Yeah, well, he just got snatched up by the Kraken. He was one of 2 that the tentacles went out to grab, and he's been grabbed and is getting pulled in, and he is, screaming, and it doesn't seem great. What would you like to do? He seems to be one of your veteran soldiers. He was like one of the officers, but anyway, what would you like to do?
How far away am I from it?
You're about 50 feet away. And there's a lot of people in front of you.
I'm going to run up and try to stab it with the pike.
Okay. What is your movement speed?
40 feet.
I mean, in terms of even just barreling through the crowd with your full movement speed, you're probably only going to get about 20 feet, not even halfway toward it. And if you use your whole action, you won't be able to attack, but you can at least get closer.
Yeah. I will bonus action rage, and with my 20 feet, I will throw javelins.
Okay. All right. So you're able to break yourself to be about 30 feet away. You're kind of at the front line almost. And go ahead and throw some javelins. Yeah, you're 30 feet away, so you're not at disadvantage with the range of the javelin.
Okay.
Any further away, that would have been worse.
Yeah. That's a total of a 20.
That is enough to hit. This is a very easy thing to hit, relatively speaking.
And so that's a total of 11 damage.
Very nice. Just piercing into it with your javelin as it's just going full blah, 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 blah. You can't tell this, but I'm waving my arms up. It's got tentacles and stuff going on.
I could tell.
I know. Yeah, I go that extra mile. I make sure that you can hear my smile. So,
Yeah.
would you like to do anything else, Aldrin?
I'll throw a second javelin.
Okay, go ahead and hurl a second javelin. You haven't gotten many use of these. These things have been collecting dust for a long while.
Yeah. That is another 20 total.
It is more than enough to hit.
And that's another 11 damage.
Another 11 damage. You know, you keep doing this and you might win in a couple hours. So, that being done, having exhausted all of your attacks and powers and such, Mollymort, you can see that one fellow to your side just dodged one tentacle. Another fellow to the other side of you, unfortunately, did not dodge. And he's screaming as the Kraken is dragging him in. And Aladrin has run up nearly beside you and is hurling javelins. And you're about 30 feet away from this thing. What would you like to do?
Hold on. I'm reading up on a spell.
Sure. Dun, 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 dun. So, this big, angry Kraken, you can, the moment, or the few of you that are paying attention or looking around or just taking a moment to smell the flowers, you can see that apparently it seemed to have come into the harbor and climbed up a ship and then onto the dock and has made its way through a tavern and is now, well onto the sort of mainland of this small breaker island. You still don't know where Aladrin proper is gone. Completely gone. No errata around. It's not very pleasant. What spell are you thinking, Mollymort?
I have decided I am going to cast Spike Growth right underneath the Kraken.
Very nice. So for Spike Growth, if I recall correctly, it is basically him just being on it or moving over it. He'll take damage. No save, or is there a save?
There is not a save, but if they can't see it, they have to make a perception check to see if they can recognize it as hazardous.
That's fine. But yeah, this 20-foot radius, you can put it directly on the center of this beast, and anyone that runs up to it will have to maybe run into that. But this thing can be directly right in there, no problem.
Yeah, I want it to be pretty much underneath the Kraken.
Certainly. All right. Moves into or within the area. Very nice. Yep. That is a good move. And that will start to do damage on its turn. Try to remember that's going, because there's a lot, so I might forget. Would you like to do anything else?
No, I think that's about all I can do.
All right. Yeah, these spikes just start to come up as your druidic power extends out. That'll be definitely fun. Because absolutely everyone rolled better than Lee. Everyone else goes. They are essentially being very chaotic. Some of them are the ones that are more veteran-like, with swords and a little bit more armor, are trying to form a circle and trying to break everyone else into fire teams. The archers are going to loose some arrows. Everyone else rolled a 10, but they have better than you for dexterity.
Well, I have a +0, so yeah, that makes sense.
Just a side note, because I'm trying to keep track of battle notes. Spike growth lasts how long?
Well, up to 10 minutes, and it's concentration.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to break in there, Mollymort.
It's all good.
Yeah, hopefully for the rest of its life. So the arrows, I'm just going to roll half of them and then double the failures and the passes. You can see as some of the arrows streak forward and Some of them sink in, others seem to be deflected. One misses entirely. I don't know what that guy's doing. And in the back, the sort of pikemen that most of you spawned with seem to be kind of trying to go to cover and form up a little bit. Everyone again seems to be going into chaos, but damage is being done and bad things are happening. Lee, what would you like to do?
Yeah.
The field has cleared up a little bit more now that everyone is gone. They're trying to move to cover and are trying to essentially be formed into fire teams and work up into squads, etc. They're doing military stuff.
Lee can see that people are acting chaotically, right?
Lee can see this, yes.
Okay. It's actually good that I'm going last then, because I think it fits in with the theme of what I want to do. I want to rally them to stand firm and basically fight. I even was okay. Can I make a roll for that? I even have something I might want to say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean you're proficient with military speak and you speak Elvish. You understand a lot of what's going on here. You don't necessarily know their specific tactics, but you can give orders with authority, so you can make essentially like a charisma check with advantage. Or not with advantage, but with proficiency.
Basically like a persuasion?
Essentially, yeah. But even if
Okay.
you're not trained in persuasion, you still get proficiency because you're just a martial person.
Awesome. Okay. Now but I wrote a little speech. I was a very short one.
Go ahead and say your speech if you like.
All right. Lee will call out, "Stand firm, men! Fight for your home, for your honor. Do not give in. Stand and fight. We will not fall today." Is that any good? Does that do anything?
You can see the guy that was grappled gets dropped into the mouth of the Kraken as soon as you say it.
When he says it, Lee rushes forward. And should I go ahead and make my roll, or?
Yeah, go ahead. You do whatever you want, man.
All right. I'll rush forward for whatever movement I can get. We're moving at half speed, right?
Well, no. The field cleared out. Everyone got out of the way, so you can move at full speed.
Okay, I'll move forward. How far away is the Kraken?
It was about 50 feet from you.
Okay, then I'll move my full 30 feet. I'll rush forward, with my shield up.
All right.
Try to call out. And,
You're now closer to it than everyone.
Okay. Well,
In fact,
I guess I'll go to the.
Any
You know what, that
closer,
works.
you'd risk spike growth.
Then yeah, I'll go the full feet. I'll rush forward and try to rally people while I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and make a roll for that.
Because you're charging for it, I'll give you advantage to inspire.
Okay. The first roll was an 11. I haven't added anything yet.
Okay.
Okay, an 18 was the first roll. Okay, an 18.
Well, that was the first roll?
Yeah, the second roll was worse.
Oh, okay. An 18 is pretty darn good. That's very inspiring. They're surprised that it's coming from a newbie, but, whatever. That's something.
Is anybody inspired and, comes with me?
Do you want to take the time to watch them and see what they do on their next turn?
No, but I'm gonna say that inspiring crap, and then I'm gonna try.
That's perfectly fine.
I'll hold up my hammer, and I'll cast Crusader's Mantle, and you just hear a loud "bah!" and everybody around me is inspired, and within 30 feet, any friendly creature will get an extra D4 of radiant damage.
Okay. That
It'll
includes...
be concussive kind.
and you said within 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay, so that gets everyone except Ormus and a whole bunch of other randoms.
All right, so everybody just feels inspired, and they get that little bit of concussive, golden light coming off of their weapons and bodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of you can see the clear golden yellow figure, this hard outline of Lee holding up his hammer. But at the same time, through your actual vision, you can see a kind of an elf suffering the equivalent of acne and like an ugly elf, which still looks to be like a pretty human, but kind of disheveled kid with a somewhat it's not rusty, but not very sharp sword in place of the hammer. Amazingly, everyone else does seem to be somewhat inspired by the random courage of this newbie, but you all can see the true Lee shining through.
It's not random. He's just fighting for his country.
It's
or
unexpected.
whatever.
Would you like to do anything else?
That's fair. But unexpected courage is good.
It usually
Inspiring.
is.
That's all I have, I think. Wait, I may have a bonus action.
Okay.
Nope, I don't have a bonus action I can take.
All right. Fionn, you're about 35 feet away. You feel inspired. Lee has charged forward. A couple other have charged forward. What would you like to do? This thing's just big and angry, just eating along.
So, how tall is the Kraken?
Oh, man. It's tough to tell. It's kind of sitting up a bit. I mean, it's definitely longer than it really seems, but this thing's at least 20 feet tall.
Perfect. What kind of action would it take to activate my spell slot tattoo?
Well, I guess it would depend partially on which kind of spell.
I have Cloud of Daggers, and it's one action. I assumed it would be an action, but
It's just like a stored spell in there. So yeah, just basically an action.
And now, I'm just checking because I honestly can't remember the rule on this. You can cast a spell and a bonus action cantrip in one turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna move my movement speed towards it.
Cool.
And actually, I don't.
Well, I was about to warn you. Because you're 35 feet away, your movement speed is like 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
That would take you to within 5 feet of it, which you can see because you saw the casting of it. You can see there's spike growth if you get any closer.
That's fine.
Like you're at the literal edge of the spike.
That's perfectly fine.
Wait, did Spike Growth prevent me from fighting it in melee?
It wouldn't prevent it, but it would make it more interesting.
No. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bonus action for Blood Curse of Mutual Suffering.
Okay.
Which I will amplify. So for up to a minute, the next time it deals damage to me, it takes necrotic damage equal to the damage it dealt. And because I amplified it, it will lose any resistance to necrotic.
Now, is that only the first time it hits you?
Yes, it ends when it hits me, but it lasts for up to a minute.
Okay, so it's like a smite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
All right. So, what would you like to do? Maybe I'm.
And 5, 6, marking down the turns so I know when to. And I will cast the spell slot tattoo and center it about like right in front of its face, where it pretty much like on its eyes.
All right. This cloud of daggers.
Now I don't know how it will affect it, but I do have 14 second level spell slots charged into it.
14.
Yeah, I've been paying very careful attention and storing as many as I can.
Okay.
What about the level 5 ones?
Note to self: might have to cap that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you are able to release this thing. I guess, yeah. I mean, you would take. Let's see, creature when it. All right, so yeah, just remember that when it starts its turn, it'll be in a cloud of daggers, and it'll take 44 slashing damage when it starts its turn there. Because you got it, like its face is now a cloud of daggers.
Now, Lee, you said something, I didn't catch it. What was that?
I don't know.
Said, what about the 5th level?
Yeah, what about the 2 5th level slots?
When we burned the incense. Yeah, so I suppose I would have two fifth levels in there.
We did not
Oh,
have any
You,
incense.
you didn't burn the incense yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, we did, but we retconned it.
No, we didn't.
No, you didn't.
We talked about it at the end of a session
You
at one point.
talked about it, but you didn't actually say you did it.
Remember, I actually used my crystal of divination to see if we were going to get attacked in the next
Correct.
session. So,
And then you got the resounding answer of no,
yeah,
and decided not to do it.
that was me wondering if I should do it that night or not.
No, that's definitely fine with me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, let's see. You pretty much exhausted all of your actions. Good use of that economy. Ormus, you're about 60 feet away. Everyone else is rushing towards and doing all kinds of stuff. What would you like to do?
Go another 30 feet and cast my Eldritch Blast.
All right, you're 30 feet away. Go ahead and make your cast.
This takes so long. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's fine. If you want, if you trust us, one of us can roll for you and give you the number and you can do the math for it. Get yourself a dirty 20 there. That's a hit.
Nice. Awesome.
You didn't start your card on it.
No. Okay.
Somebody run a roll.
Two.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
if it makes it easier for you.
2d8s.
Somebody roll
Yeah,
2d8.
You could 2d8s plus, and then I can add stuff.
Who would like to be so kind as to roll 2d8s?
I can.
Go for it.
That's only a 2 and a 3.
That's significantly better than you got last time.
Yes, and I realized I didn't add. Do I add proficiency bonus to damage to that? or
Nope.
not?
No.
And I can't remember if I used my charisma modifier for damage, but I know that I do get my proficiency bonus extra damage actually because it's cursed.
Oh yeah, it is cursed.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Your curse lasts a minute, right?
Yes, and does my charisma mod? I'll have to look that up. But so 1 and a 2 for 3 plus 4 that's 7. I get that time.
Okay.
And then that'll
You-
be my turn. I just one more turn.
Got it. All right. The Kraken, now beginning its turn. Ormus, would you be so kind as to mute yourself if you could?
Oh shit, my bad. Yeah.
You're cool, man. All right. The Kraken, now beginning its turn with a cloud of daggers. Please roll 4d4.
I don't have 44 out. I only so, or no,
Roll,
backslash.
roll twice.
Fair.
It still works. I had someone argue once that it wasn't the same as rolling 44, that the math would be different. And I just had to look at them really hard.
7 plus 4 is 11.
Even if the math is technically the same, I still definitely prefer to roll the right dice.
Well, it's still the right dice, but it's saying that 4d4 is different than 2d4 plus 2d4. Like it's still 44. They're just rolled at different times.
And it's like one after the other, so there's not really, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, so this thing begins its turn with its head in a cloud of daggers, and it is on top of a spiky growth. And so for that one, Molly Moore, what damage do you roll there? 2d4?
Yeah, that's all.
That's something.
It's not as much as I could have done.
But it's going to continue to do it, hopefully.
3 damage.
Okay. -3 damage on that sucker. This thing has a surprising amount of intelligence. Let's see what it feels about the spike growth. Hit no one of you here.
It needs to make a perception check.
Let's see, spike growth.
Just to, I kind of cast it under it, so I figured it would be covering it, so it wouldn't be able to see it.
You know what? That's fair. Let me see if it looks down. Like, it can tell that there's something going on. But, should have been D10s. All right, well, keep that in mind for the next turn, next time around, Ormus. All right, so we will. Yeah, you're not a time traveler. You can't come back and change it. But let's see if he does see it. What's your spell save DC, Molly?
It is, hold on, 17, I think. Let me 15.
You say we're not time travelers as we are back in time.
That was the fun of it.
Yeah. The irony is not lost on me. I love it.
It does seem to, in fact, see that you are, there are spikes beneath it that have suddenly appeared, and it is not a fan of this. And it seeing all of the other terrible things going on, it's going to try and book it as fast as it really can, which is not very fast.
Technically, it only does damage when they move through it, so.
Correct. Let's see. When a creature moves into or within the area, yeah, it is continuing to move. Like, it's. Would it not have done that damage for starting it? See, the tricky part is it's so large that I suspect it should deserve some sort of damage for just being in the area.
I mean, I agree, yes, but technically, no.
All right, we'll just call it at that is where it is. But it's trying to back up. Go ahead and roll another 2d4 as it starts to back away. And let me see if what it wants to do when it discovers that it hurts to move.
That would be 5.
Okay, go ahead and roll another 2d4 as it continues to move, kind of going like, ow, 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 but like in Kraken. Say again, Molly Moore?
6.
6? Good gravy. All right. Okay, it wisens up and realizes that moving is not working. It's just going to try and stay put. And it looks around in terms of who is close enough for it, now that it has moved 10 feet away from just about everyone else. The closest person to it is Theon. You're exactly within reach of the tentacles, and it will attempt to reach out and grab you.
I hope it does.
Huh?
I hope it does.
Well, good news. Let's see. It rolled a 23 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. He takes 17 bludgeoning damage.
So it takes 17 bludgeoning damage, or it takes 17 necrotic damage.
Oh man, it is not happy about that. You also, do you take the damage, or is it completely reflected?
I take the damage, and
It's
it is
somewhat-
reflected.
It's somewhat happier about that.
And also, I use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke on it.
Okay, it attempts to avoid it. It rolled an 18. Oh, excuse me. Actually, it rolled a 23.
Yeah, but it still takes... It's saved, but it still takes half damage.
That's fine.
2d10. That's 15 and half would be
7.
7. Yeah.
All right. Y'all said you couldn't kill a Kraken. Holy crap. All right.
Did all the soldiers already attack?
No, they've only gotten one attack. Nobody was close enough to hit it, but the archers did release some arrows, but it's not their turn yet.
Oh, okay. My bad.
We've only gone through the order once so far. The Kraken, having grabbed you, go ahead and, if you choose, you could choose to fail it if you like, but if you choose, you can resist being grappled by it. Otherwise, make basically, if you want to resist being grappled by this tentacle, you can make basically a athletics or acrobatics check to try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, hang on. No, you don't. It just automatically grapples when it hits you. Never mind.
Okay.
You are restrained, and it's got a hold of you. And let's see, there's no one else really close to it, and it doesn't want to move closer. So it is going to do the only thing it really can, and fling. Let's see here. Fionn, go ahead and roll a d8. One being behind the Kraken.
It's a 4.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. To the right of all of your friends, you are hurled quite a long ways. You go about 30 feet or so, and you take 12 damage, which is surprisingly not very little, having been hurled. And you can make a saving throw to reduce some of the damage. So go ahead and make, or well, actually, yeah, don't put the damage yet. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Dex saves are my specialty.
Good.
Guys, remember to keep track of how far away you are from me because you can get save bonuses.
Oh yeah,
He is
that's right.
no longer within that range because you just got thrown 30. Well, actually, how far is that range?
It's only 10 until level 18.
No, you've been thrown away.
I'll be right back, guys. 1 second.
Okay. What did you roll for dexterity saving throw?
I rolled 16 plus 7.
Okay, that's good.
Math escapes me currently.
That's perfectly fine. Okay, I apologize again. I read this wrong. You do take that damage. I believe it's 12. But the target that you were thrown at makes the dexterity saving throw, which it passed. So it only takes. It is able to avoid being hit by you. He threw you at another soldier. So, he, like Aladrin, is proficient in throwing individuals. But yeah, you take 12 damage. Yada yada. Oh man, this Kraken does not want to be near all these terrible things. And next up is, of course, Aladrin. He's away. We can come back to him, though. Next up after that would be Mollymort.
Well, what? Did I already go?
Didn't you? You ran up and you charged forward and did your aura thing and inspired people.
I got confused.
It's fine.
I got confused.
There's a lot of stuff happening. It's okay. But
yeah, I didn't realize how long the initiative was, and people reacting to stuff. I kept thinking it was their turn, but it was the Kraken's turn.
It was the Kraken's turn because he's got 2 fields going on, and but 5 of you and 1 bad guy and then NPCs.
Yeah, apologies. Okay. I had fucking tons of reactionary shit.
It's cool. So if Aladrin isn't back, it'll be Mollymort. We'll come back to Aladrin. So Mollymort, what would you like to do if you're?
Well, since it is decided now not to move, I will be casting Moonbeam on it.
Okay, it moved a little bit, but it seems to not like the spiky ground bit. Now you're making it even worse. That's wonderful. I fully approve.
They are both concentration, so now I lose the spike growth.
You do, but I mean, come on. Array of light from the moon, etc., etc. But yeah, you do that.
Okay, it's only a 10-foot range, right?
Well, no, it's got a range of 120 feet.
No, I mean,
but it's 10 feet round.
Yeah, 10-foot diameter.
Yeah, I was just making sure that I could still get close enough to it to hit it.
Oh yeah, well, it's thinner than the monster is itself. So as long as she keeps it on it, then you guys can be fully surrounding it.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was making sure about.
Let's see, and it has to do with also starting its turn. My understanding of it is that that's also going to occur when he starts his turn there, right?
Quick check. Let me check.
First time on a turn? No. Yeah, that you can put it on him, so that'll do it. When a creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn. Well, no, presumably on its turn.
Or starts its turn there, yeah. So yeah, on its turn it takes the damage.
I don't know, because it says on a turn, not necessarily its turn. But then again, it does say enters. Okay, yeah, we'll have it when it starts its turn there. That seems not as broken.
That seems what it was intended.
I would assume so. You guys are kicking its butt anyway. Not a problem. So, Moonbeam has fallen onto it. The spike growth goes away. And I'm presuming you've got this thing centered on it. So it's just this cylinder of light that is just right on its head. But it doesn't extend anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I want it on it, not risking anybody else.
Got it. Yeah, perfectly fine. Would you like to do anything else? You're about 40 feet away from it.
I would like to back off a little bit.
Sure. How much further would you like to back off?
I'm gonna move my full 30 feet away.
Okay. Yeah, you're about 70 feet away from it now. Just chilling out, you know. You're behind the archers. It's not bad.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, you're a little bit in front of the archers, but it's no big deal. That's perfectly.
I'm sure they'll shoot over me.
Yeah, no biggie. Aldrin, are you back?
Yes.
What would you like to do?
How far away is it now?
It moved about 10 feet away from you, so it's about 40 feet away. And the spike growth is gone. So if you can get up on it, you can do whatever.
I should be able to get up onto it.
Oramus, you unmuted yourself.
Is there a lot of back noise? Just because I'm on my way back home there, shouldn't.
Unfortunately, yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I could guess you were in a car or something.
Yeah, we can tell. And that's, we're happy you're here. We're all good.
Agreed.
Aldrin?
That's my bad. I'll just unmute when I need.
Okay, thank you. Aldrin? Like I said,
can
about
get up to it. With
yeah, it's
40
about
feet.
40 feet.
So I will run up to it and switch the pike for the great axe. And
Okay.
try to hit
What's your speed again?
40 feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're on it. And you're gonna go with the great axe?
Yes. Reckless.
You are
great weapon
still
master.
you can't hear him? But Aldrin, you're still within Lee's aura. Lee, what are the benefits of your aura?
Well, the spell I cast is 30
Yeah.
feet, but it is just an extra D4. It's mostly
Okay.
for just like NPC soldiers.
And it's anyone that's still within that range, or anyone that was in the beginning?
It is any friendly creature that I choose within 30 feet of me, yeah.
Okay. You are within 30 feet of Lee if you want to go that route.
And every weapon attack.
All right.
Alright.
So you get, some extra stuff.
Yeah. Reckless great weapon master.
Go for it.
Yeah, your weapons are just faintly glowing, all of them. Well, actually, all of you is.
Nice. Yeah,
So
everything is probably just faintly glowing, especially the creature, but he's glowing a different color.
Everybody that's glowing can also hear a very faint vibrating.
Just a little
It's really
buzz.
unsettling.
That would be a total of an 18 to hit on the first attack.
That is a hit.
Oh, it is? God. This thing has terrible AC.
Well, it's very big.
Yeah. So that would be plus a d4. So that'd be 19 plus 7 would be 26 plus 2 from the Crusader's Mantle would be 28 damage.
Holy shit. Okay.
And then the second attack, still Reckless and Great Weapon Master,
On that, nice.
The
is
second attack.
that's significantly lower for a 14.
That does not hit.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Very successful turn. Let's see. This one, the soldier's being inspired by Lee quite a bit, even ahead of him in the initiative order, but that's not important right now.
Do any of them form up a phalanx with me?
Yeah, I mean, some of them they're forming up right on you, about 30 feet from the creature. The archers release another volley. Most of them don't seem to have an effect, but one of them actually kind of lands just below the Kraken's eye, and that really annoys it.
The archers are definitely not within my range, are they?
No, but they're still attacking. Some of the others are forming up. They're doing the sort of best that they can. But then, surprise, surprise, the Kraken, not liking Aldrin being up front, uses one of its legendary actions to attempt to grab on. That is a 29 to hit. I'm going to assume that hits. Aldrin, you take... Let's see. 7, 10... So you take 17 bludgeoning damage, and you are restrained by this beast as it grabs you in its hold.
Does it get? You're raging, right? I'm just making sure. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm pretty sure you are raging. Is that correct, Aldrin?
Uh-oh.
I would assume yes, because I think he's raging.
I think he raged first thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. That was like his first bonus action. So he only takes half of that damage.
Yeah, I have him here as 2 turns down on rage. So.
Yeah.
By the way, Crusader's Mantle allows for 10 turns. So if you're keeping track of that.
Yeah, I didn't have that down actually. That's 10 turns, and it should be 2 turns down now, or is it 1?
2 turns, I think, at this point. I did it first thing.
Coming up. Yeah, it's coming up on 2 turns. You're about to have your second turn. Okay. Speaking of, the soldiers have formed up around you, Lee, and Aldrin has just been grabbed. It is your turn. What would you like to do, Lee?
I say, all right, man, let's charge. And I start to rush forward towards the Kraken with my wall of men.
Okay, you rush forward. It's about... What's your movement speed?
30, and I already moved 30, so I should only have been 20 feet away, I think.
Yep, but it moved 10 feet away, so you're 30 feet away, but you can get 5 feet away in melee engagement.
Nice, I can get to it. Okay,
yep.
I run up to it, and I smack it. Is me being in a phalanx or charge give me anything?
Not entirely. I mean, you're still alone right now. They didn't move up with you. They just moved to you, and now you're moving ahead again. You're certainly part of a charge, but this thing's so big, you can go for smacking it. You'll probably do well.
Okay. I guess I'll run up to it, and I'll say charge, but they'll be right behind me.
Oh yeah. They're just a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'll run up. I guess under where Aldrin is.
Yep.
If I can get him within 10 feet of me, that would be good. Not that he needs it.
It really just depends on the tentacle.
Yeah. I'll run up and I'll smack him. Just
all right. Roll to smack.
How much was the damage that I took from the Kraken again? It was 20 something?
You took 17, which you can divide by 2.
Yeah.
And you are restrained.
Yes.
25 to hit on the first attack.
That's a hit. And you wanted an advantage.
Well, I wanted to do something special with one of my feet.
I understood.
I wanted to try to knock him, see what I could do knocking something that big prone. I know it wouldn't work the exact same way because it's so big, but I was hoping I would be able to do some sort of effect to it. Like knock one of its tentacles off or something.
That would be funny.
The second attack is really bad. I think it's only a 13, so I miss.
That does not hit.
All right. How's everybody looking? Does everybody look pretty did the men that come up to help me look bedraggled and hurt and stuff?
No, they look completely untouched. They were marching up into combat. They haven't been hit yet.
Okay, everybody's looking good on health then.
Everybody looks pretty much great. I mean,
Okay, awesome.
Aldrin not so much. He had his injuries from before and is now restrained by a tentacle, but everyone else is fine.
I guess I'm gonna make a smite on that first hit then.
Okay.
Second level.
Okay. All right. What kind of damage are we looking at?
Can I roll it in chat real quick?
Sure.
I've got the dice in front of me, but I seem to be having a hard time with math today.
It's okay. You're a paladin. You got a lot of numbers. All right. Let's see. Who is going to be next? Next, it'll be Fion.
Oh, that's really the numbers are pretty bad, but 23.
Yeah. Numbers are bad. 23. Okay. Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
If everybody looks healthy and hale, I'm just gonna smack it with my shield.
All right. Yeah, everyone else looks fine.
I have a thing I can do as a bonus action. It's an athletics.
Okay. So it's opposed, or?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it real quick. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try to shove a creature. Oh, it's too big for me to shove.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too big. It's definitely out of your size class.
I mean,
Okay, yeah, never mind then.
You can attempt to shove it if you want, but I don't think it'll do much.
I was hoping that it would do damage or something instead, but I can't
No.
attack. Okay, then I guess I'm done.
Well, I was gonna say, if you've got some healing that you can do from a distance, I'm at 58 out of 87, so I should be fine. But I'll probably need healing within the next couple of turns.
I have something, but it won't work unless if you're under half health.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm here too.
Everything else is touch. Yeah, because I don't have like healing word or anything.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'll be
All right.
moving up next, as close as I can get to it this next turn, anyways. So.
I guess since I have a bonus action left over. No, I don't. I think I'll call it. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Fion, you're 30 feet away. You're prone. You just got thrown at another soldier. Probably not feeling great. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I have to use half my speed to get up. So I'll stand up,
Yep.
and then I'll move 15 feet. And
All right.
now I'm debating the rest of the party. Should I cast blindness, deafness, or should I go for more of the damaging?
I mean, blindness this will give it disadvantage on attacks, right?
Yeah, but it's a con save, and I imagine the Kraken's got a pretty decent con.
Fair.
That's true. Honestly, I think
Ormus brings up a good point.
at the
Yeah.
point. What do you say?
This thing
Oh
is
my God.
huge, and you have Smash Mouth.
I mean, I thought about bringing that up, but I couldn't cut in.
Okay.
I was actually going to ask Molly if she had Sheilog on her, but she was already doing something else, so I didn't want to stop her.
If I have what on me?
The Sheilog, I can't say it.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh,
I
that's it. I know you had an extra cantrip that you were going to take it with, or you thought about taking it with.
Yeah, I opted to take it once, we got Smash Mouth.
Alright, well I think that's a concentration, I think, so I would probably just keep doing what you're doing right now. That's why I didn't say anything before, is because I thought about it, but you were already doing concentration stuff and I didn't want to interrupt it. Plus, we're doing really well, so I don't think it's really necessary.
Even
Covered.
even without Shillelagh, it might be a fun thing to try out on a big target.
I mean, Yeah. I
Just
just
saying.
didn't. He already was doing something, so I didn't want to stop
Y'all
that.
can do whatever. But what do you want to do, Fionn?
I'm going to cast Frostbite. It has to
Okay.
make a con save of 17.
All right. It rolled a natural 1. It failed.
Okay, so it takes 2d6 cold damage, and it has disadvantage on its next. Oh, well, weapon attack. I don't know if it has weapons.
It doesn't seem to.
Yeah.
If
Well,
anyone want to retrieve the Smash Mouth and use it, please
Are
be my
you-
guest, but I'm all the way over here.
Are natural attacks not considered to be weapon attacks? Natural weapons?
Not necessarily. It kind of depends on some of the considerations, where melee doesn't necessarily count as a weapon,
Okay.
but at the same time it can, or unarmed. But it's not necessarily attacking unarmed in the traditional sense.
That is another thing, is that Crusader's Mantle and Divine Favor specifically do say weapon attack.
Yeah. And some stuff are weapons without being weapons, and some things aren't. But most things that are melee attacks are usually weapons. Like a fist is not a weapon, but punching someone is usually a weapon.
Okay.
Anyway, the damage, Fionn?
Oh, that's 9 damage?
Okay. And it has a disadvantage on its next weapon attack?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Would you
Yeah.
like to do anything else with your turn?
I will use my bonus action to cast Shadow Blade.
Okay. You cast Shadow Blade. Got all kinds of cool stuff going on. Alright, next up, we've got Ormus. You're 40 feet away. You, like I said, are about 40 feet away from this thing. If you wanted to make a run to get Mollymort or to get Smash Mouth, Mollymort's about 30 feet behind you. Just throwing that information out there. You don't have to do anything with it. What would you like to do, Ormus?
If I move to her and get it, I can use my reaction or just bonus action dash, right? The other direction.
You can, in terms of some of the other stuff, the tricky part is you of course have to get it from her. But depending on where she has it, that might not be too tricky. Do you have a feature that allows you to use dash as a bonus action? I know rogues do. I don't know if you do.
I don't believe I do.
More than likely,
I
you would
don't
have
know
to. You'd have to use your entire action. So your movement to get to her, and then your action to run back, and you would essentially be exactly where you are, but
Okay,
you would
yeah,
have Smash Mouth.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a bonus action that I'd have to activate in order to dash. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can just grab that from her real quick, depending on where she's got it hidden, and push forward again.
Mollymort, you can see the soldier with the outline of Ormus running towards you, yelling something about Smash Mouth, give me Smash Mouth, we need Smash Mouth.
Sorry.
It's fine. Would you like to, I'll allow you to hand off Smash Mouth if you like, if you want to.
Absolutely.
Okay. You're able to essentially allow him to draw it from your hat like Excalibur, except it's a stick.
Now, how does Crusader's Mantle affect this? Does it multiply with it?
Well, we're going to find that out, aren't we? Well, hopefully we will. It might still be alive by the time he gets there. So yeah, Ormus, you are running back as fast as you can. You're about still 40 feet away from this thing. You've done everything you can, but you've got Smash Mouth in your hand. And you, of course, recall that it does more damage the larger the target. So it'll be interesting to see what this thing does on a target that is not even as big as Tiamat, so you can have some idea of the scale of what it can do.
Yep. How's the noise right now, by the way, the background noise?
It's not too bad. I mean, it comes up and you talk, but it isn't breaking in.
It's not terrible. You're
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just noticed that when I restart Discord, the sound quality changed as well. So I'm like, hey, maybe the microphone quality changed.
Well, it's all over the place, but you're doing okay now.
Okay, just let me know when I need to mute.
I'm just curious too. Is everyone going to have to leave at 7, or is it okay if we go a little past? We might be kind of squeaky.
I have to
I'm
head
good.
up at 7.
Okay, we'll try to finish it by 7. Just really depends on you guys. Let's see. The Kraken, continuing to hold Aladrin, will do the only reasonable thing and attempt to eat him.
Oh no.
That's a natural 20. Okay.
And down I go.
Not necessarily. Let's see. So there's 31 plus. So that's 39, 40, 44. So you take 44 piercing damage.
Okay.
Which you can divide by 2.
Okay,
and-
I can do that.
And you are swallowed by the Kraken.
Alright.
So, that happens. You were in there. It's probably going to be bad. And it attempts to. It looks around, and let me see who else is close. Lee is the next closest target, and it attempts to grab Lee. Oh yeah, that's a hit. It is able to grab onto Lee, and Lee, you take 17 bludgeoning damage. Is your spell concentration?
Yes.
Go ahead and make a concentration check, please.
What's the DC on it?
10.
My plus to con is 10. I did that on purpose because I didn't want to have to deal with it with attacks that weren't that much damage.
Okay. Yeah, if your plus to con is 10, the DC for a Constitution saving throw is 10. You automatically do not lose concentration.
Yeah, I think my limit is like 22 or something because I have an automatic 11.
Correct.
Yeah, that was the reason I took the feats.
Well, you are still restrained and being held by this thing, and as I said, you did take 17 damage.
And I can try to escape from it on my turn?
On your turn, yes. You'll have an attempt to do that.
Okay, was it an attack roll or was it some sort of save?
To be attacked by the tentacle?
For being restrained here.
It's automatic on hit.
Okay. I was going to try to use my shield to duck out of it, but...
Unfortunately, no. No, it's the tentacle attack is when it has a reach 20, and when it hits, the target is automatically grappled, and until the grappled ends, the target's restrained, and you can attempt to escape on your turn, and it has also a whole bunch of tentacles.
Okay.
They can grapple multiple people at a time.
All right.
Yeah, it's all kinds of fun stuff. Let's see. At the end of its turn, it is Aladrin's turn. Aladrin?
First, I need to roll the 2d10 moonbeam damage.
Oh, yes. Do, definitely. 2d10 moonbeam.
14 damage.
14 damage. Very nice. As the beam cuts into this sucker, it does not move away out of the beam. You were going to say something, Fionn?
I realized I was wrong in what I was going to say.
Okay. Let's see. The creature is swallowed. All right, so you are in the gullet of the Kraken, Aladrin. What do you want to do? I would suggest attack.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. I'm just gonna keep swinging.
Okay. Do you want to be actually attacking, or do you want to try and break out of this thing, like crawl out of it, or are you just focused on just kill it from the inside?
Kill it from the inside.
That's probably a smart bet. So go ahead and roll to kill from the inside.
Reckless
Try to make a door
and
out.
Great Weapon Master.
Okay, roll for it.
Am I restrained?
You are amazingly not restrained.
Okay.
You're not restrained when you're being swallowed.
If anything, you're attacking it from the inside. You might, like, does it get advantage on that?
No, he doesn't get any advantage at all because he might not be hitting anything that has any effect.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that it would.
Would it be a flat foot attack then? Since technically inside no armor.
No. I mean, it's just straight attack. He's got plenty of bonuses, guys. He doesn't need any help.
That's a natural 20. That's
Holy
a crit.
shit!
Do you have the spear?
I do.
Yeah,
but
but
a
he's
great
just
axe
using
does more damage.
Yeah, he's just using the great axe, and that's fine.
So
You have
that's.
all these mythical weapons, and the only one I can take you for.
They're purpose-built utility weapons. They're not necessarily great damaging weapons.
Yeah.
All right,
We
so
have the perfect time to do it.
yeah, so what are we looking at damage-wise here, Alex?
So 12 plus 7 is 19, plus 5 is 24, plus
20,
34,
34.
plus 7 is 41.
Yeah, I was
Do
about to
I
say,
have?
you
do
also
I
get a
have to do-
D4 from Lee, because you are definitely within his area.
I think that still
Uh,
gets double, doesn't it?
Does it?
All damage dice. On this one, I'll give you the max 4, and then you can roll the other. So, essentially,
So-
treat it like a normal crit, like
So
we
yeah.
normally do.
So I'd be at 45 then, and then an additional 4 would get me up to 49.
Okay. And
That's
then,
the total damage from one attack.
did you roll the D4?
Yeah, that was the 49.
Okay. It had 14 left.
So
So
you just make a door.
this thing picks Aladrin up, it's done all this thing, swallows it, thinks to himself, well, that problem's done. Let me focus on these others.
Wait,
And then Aladrin cleaves from the inside and cuts its head off.
I want to point out that this whole thing started because Aladrin was eaten by the Kraken, and the very way that it died was that Aladrin was eaten by the Kraken.
Kind of poetic.
You know, believe it or not, guys, I actually planned these really well.
That is so beautiful. I love it.
But just like Arata said, he was eaten by the Kraken, and he killed it. So, you do this big sweep from the inside, completely behead the Kraken from the inside, leaving it at negative 35 hit points. And it slumps down, and unfortunately you fall out prone as you water slide out of its gullet upside down, but, you know, whatever.
Whatever will he do? He's prone.
Yeah.
He puts out a hand to help him up.
Initiative order is done. I'm assuming Molymore, you would have dropped the moonbeam, because he's technically within the moonbeam now.
Yes, I will drop the moonbeam, but also
Okay.
just for funsies, I want to do the Wand of Wonder on it.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'll help Aldrin up while you Wand of Wonder.
Yeah.
That's a 23. Hold on. That would be, I guess, detect thoughts on it.
On the Kraken.
Yes, the now
Now here's the important part. Because it was beheaded, you've got two separate pieces. Do you cast it on the body or on the head?
Oh, I definitely would have cast it on the head.
Okay. As you cast detect thoughts on the head, you essentially hear it going, "What in the what? Why me?" As it just kind of goes away, as it has its last couple of moments alive after being beheaded, as it just is very confused. But anyway,
He has very mixed feelings about that.
Aldrin gets a good bro hug.
creatures are as they are. Yeah, everyone comes in and they're cheering, they're lifting up this Aladrin.
Theon's in the background hacking off a tentacle to use the hide.
Yeah, he just started like putting it in a jar full of some weird, mysterious juice.
You try to cling onto it as much as you can. Ormus, do you want to go up and just hit the body with Smash Mouth just because?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it is technically, dead, essentially, it counts as an automatic crit. So go ahead and roll 32d4.
Jesus Christ.
Fionn sees him running towards.
Well,
it
actually,
Oh
let's just
my
go with
God.
16d4. Yeah,
And a crit is-
16d4.
How
Yeah.
do you do critting? Do you do max damage plus a roll?
I do max damage plus. So the normal roll plus the max roll, because that way it's like you fill up the bar and then it goes. So it does, it already does 64 damage. And then if you roll 16d4, we'll add that to 64.
He gets an extra D4, right?
Oh yeah, and you're within 10 feet of Lee, or 20 feet of Lee, so you have
30
d4.
feet.
So roll 17d4. Okay, so 37. Roll a d4.
Oh god.
I will say, it's technically radiant damage because I'm a paladin, but I flavored it as concussive damage.
Wonderful.
I have considered turning it into force, but
Alright, you do 103 damage to this corpse, and this massive burst of concussive wonder that just shatters every bit of cartilage and bone within this thing's body, gellifying large portions of it, and it just sinks in like a flan as terrible stenches come up its gullet where everyone else, and it's just stinky and gooey and juicy and just awful overall.
I
Well,
imagine
makes getting
Rada
it
is
much easier.
watching and thinking, huh,
God damn
Yeah, you're loud again, Ormus.
it. Sorry, fucking headphones.
It's cool. You were saying, Molly Mort?
I was saying, I imagine Arada is watching over us and he just looked and thought, huh, so that's how they did it.
It's entirely possible. But you all are here. You're in the bodies of elves. The Kraken is dead. Several others around are too, but that's no big deal. You're in the past, in a very different place. What would you all like to do?
Reconvene?
Yeah, y'all are right here. You're all together.
Hmm.
You're standing next to this thing like a fishing trophy.
Fion's, of course, skinning it already.
Just going at it.
You said we're all elves?
Yeah, you're all elves.
Molly's gonna dance around a little bit and say, guys, look how tall I am!
She is tall.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just congratulating Aldrin.
Indeed. You have no idea where the actual Aladrin is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think we should find you?
Oh, yeah.
Him?
Actual Aldrin.
I don't know.
Let's find Aldrin before he starts to fade away. I've read enough enough fantasy novels to know that we need to find the original Aldrin.
Yeah. So, how do you want to go about searching for Aladrin?
I'm gonna yell.
Or past Aladrin, I should say. Go on.
I'm gonna yell. Hey, is that Morningstar? Somebody better punch it. As long as I could Aldrin, that was what he was obsessed with.
A strange fart gurgle comes out of the decapitated mouth of the Kraken. That's about the only response.
Well, past Aladrin was the leader of this army, right? Like,
Yeah.
so like I imagine.
It was.
Yeah,
Was.
I imagine we could just say, hey, find the leader. He got thrown.
All right. Yeah, the rest sort of begin to...
Out of curiosity, how much damage did we...
How much damage did you do in total?
Yeah.
Not including your post-mortem. It had 207 hit points. And you did, 220.
And that was all within 3 rounds. Holy shit.
Yeah. To be fair, this is a juvenile Kraken. But still a Kraken.
Yeah.
But
Guys, you want to go find a bigger one?
No.
a white rectangle appears next to you all and just stays open.
Yelm finishes carving out enough skin for a cloak and prays to God that Arata doesn't confiscate time shenanigans.
He probably is gonna take it and then put it on Aldrin, and that's where Aldrin's came from.
Yeah, like as soon as I said I'm gonna start skinning it, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be taken because that's the Kraken skin cloak.
Is there like a tendril or something?
There's 10 tentacles.
Just take a
Yeah,
little.
Yeah, I want to take a little bit of a tentacle.
Can I just get a suction cup off of it?
Yeah, sure. Y'all can butcher whatever. You can see a lot of the others are going up and taking a couple.
Sweet.
I would say I would take some bones, but that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're all shattered.
Wait,
You're welcome.
are there still
Can I
teeth
get
in
eye
the
in
jaw?
teeth?
Yes, he didn't hit the head, so there's a whole bunch of teeth in the jaw.
Is one of them big enough for a greatsword?
No.
Oh.
Well, don't like cephalopods have beaks?
Yes, but this isn't a proper cephalopod. This one, depending on the particular style that you go with, I'm going with the traditional Kraken sort of look, which essentially is akin to like a really big angry catfish.
Oh yeah. It's an ugly thing too.
Yeah, it's like a D&D Kraken. It's got a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, no, unfortunately it doesn't have beaks, but it does have massive teeth. But none of them, because it's a juvenile, none of them are big enough for a great sword for sure. And the
I mean, we can take as much as we need, guys, and sell it.
and the big white rectangle seems to start to pulse and glow as if it's requesting you all to go through it.
We walk through.
Yeah, Fionn takes his fries of skin and walks.
I'll take as many teeth in the night as I can if I'm allowed.
Lee is not distracted by looting this corpse, so he's just the first one through.
All right. After pulling as like armfuls of parts and things, just ripping everything you can off of this creature, does everyone else go through?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like
All
to
right.
see the teeth as
I'm
well.
gonna wave to everybody.
From
I
the
know you
out,
probably can't see it, but
yeah, they don't see anything. But from the outside perspective, of course, back in the original timeline with Aladrin, he is found off in a distance, and the soldier formerly occupied by Fionn, having a shawl-sized piece of the skin in his hand, and not even remembering the battle, goes over to his seemingly deceased commander and lays it over him. But to his surprise, he gasps for air as soon as the warm Kraken skin goes over. The very same cloak that Aladrin to this day wears.
That's pretty gnarly. Like when you make it to the skin of the creature that you believe nearly killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got your white whale moment, man.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah, but the rest of you are probably disappointed to find that when you came here, through whatever body possession process you went through, everything you took off of the creatures remained in the physicality while your spirits or whatnot came here.
Lee just looks at all of them and shrugs and says, "You can't take it with you."
Mm-hmm. Arata, Arata, seeing you all come back, he's nodding at the mirror, and he points at you all and he says, "Very good, very good. You saved us a lot of heat on that one. A lot of heat. So I owe you guys favors. What do you want?"
Just take me back to where I was.
Sure.
I want to know what you know about the stars.
he's gonna do that anyway.
What do you know about the what, Theon?
Stars disappearing.
He kind of stands up tall a little bit, nods, and says, "Okay." Anybody else?
Mhm.
I
I'm
would
good.
hold on to my fever for when I need it more.
He nods.
Same.
He nods. Aldrin.
I'm gonna hold up the spear and the great axe. I want you to put the enchantment from the spear onto the great axe.
He looks at it and he points at the spear and he says, "Is that what I think it is?"
Yes, it is.
He shakes his head and he waves a cigar, creating a whole cloud of smoke. And he says, "No, I can't do that. I can do almost anything else, but I can't do that."
Can you create the same enchantment and put it on the great axe?
He shakes his head and he says, "I can do a lot of things, but I can't do that."
You ask him to enchant the spear.
Well, no, the spear is the spear.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying, is give it like a +1 or something.
I mainly want it to deal more damage.
Yeah, a +1 would do more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Enchant it with charges of Divine Smite or something?
he shakes his head and he says, "No, stacking magic on top of magic on top of magic, it doesn't really work like that."
All right. Well, can you add weight and length to the spear to turn it into a pike?
He
that
says,
something
"You
you can
can
do?"
probably just you could probably just tie some longer wood on."
Yeah, but magic. I don't know how magic works. I just hit things.
And he says, "Yeah, but if you're just tying it on, you don't need magic."
Yeah, but Look, I have a plan, and I need this thing to be very strong, and I don't want some cheap wood to break in the
He
middle of
points
my
at this. He points at the shaft and he says, "That is magical as well. That's not going to break."
Yeah. It should be fine in theory.
He winks and he says, "Trust me, it was."
Yeah.
Or it will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll say, "Okay, if you don't want any other kind, that's fine. You really saved our butts from." Oh, hang on. He doesn't stutter, but I do because I forget her name. He says, "You really saved our butts from Mistra. We don't want any of that trouble. So, I guess send you guys back where you were."
Yep.
Alright, don't forget, you'll owe us a favor.
He nods and he says, "Well, yeah. After you all saved he saved my family. I owe you." And he nods.
Can I request one thing?
Sure.
A way to get into contact with you.
He shakes his head and he says, "I can't really."
Can I have a hug?
He nods and says, "Of course."
I hug him and I pick him up.
Molly joins in the hug.
Hit the wrong button.
As you wrap your hands around him, he feels warm. He feels like corporal, but as you try to pick him up, he also feels like he's a column. Like it's like trying to pick up a mountain. Like
Can I make a
he's physically there. Yeah, sure.
Lee will accept this challenge. Go on.
What did you roll?
Not very good. I think my plus is good though, so 15?
Nope. Yeah, you attempt to pick him up and you're just completely unable. But, you get a warm hug from him.
That's nice.
Yeah, he smells like warm snickerdoodles. And, yeah, he pokes a couple of times on the mirror again and waves as a couple of rectangles open up. And through them, you can see the basement of the castle at Hope, and then a beach, and you can just see a goat pointing with a hoof, presumably at Philbin, who's about to fall down in the sand. And then you can see the hold of a ship, and he says, "Y'all can go as you'd like," or rather, the deck of a ship. Excuse me.
Alright, I'll see you next time, Arata.
He nods, and he points at Fion, and he, basically like puts his hand on your shoulder, Fion, like getting you to hold back real quick. But everyone else, he kind of motions out, like, go back to where you were if you like, do whatever.
Molly Mort's gonna like hop up and pat Aladrin on the shoulder before she goes and say, "I told you we could take that thing."
I remember it being bigger.
I think you're the one who's gotten bigger, Aladrin.
Thank you, Molly.
She gives you a quick hug, then goes off to rejoin Zilra.
Which portal does Fion take? Oh no, Fion doesn't go yet. Which portal do you go through, Ormus? You notice that
I'm gonna
there's
give him a quick hug and then go through. Did mine's not there?
no, it didn't open up to the hallway outside of the Queen's room. There's just one in the basement of Hope, so where the heart is, and then on the deck of a ship, presumably where Aladrin came from, and a beach where Lee came from.
I'll go through the portal with the heart. I was going there anyway.
Close enough, yeah. Okay, Lee, I'm assuming you go to the beach,
Yes.
and Aladrin, you return to the ship?
Yes.
Okay, and since Fion is the only one left in this pocket universe, he and Arata will have a discussion privately, and he can choose to share it with you another time. So I hope you all enjoyed this special Leap Day, Quantum Leap inspired episode, where you all went to correct a past wrong, just because I am a big fan of Quantum Leap, and it's Leap Day. So anyway,
Yeah.
I guess, let's see, Aladrin, you won't be here for the next 2 weeks, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you'll continue with your sea adventures, and we can chat to figure out how that's going whenever you are available for your time, and you will see how your adventures are going next week.
All right.
Alright.
My friend.
Alrighty. That was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it, at least.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I'm glad we finally got to see what Smash Mouth can do, even to a juvenile.
I know, and it was a crit, but still. But yeah, you did, on a crit, you did 103 damage.
The Wand of
And that
Wonder
was without any like.
fun things.
The Wand of Wonder is fun, but basically, judging from the hit that it did on this Kraken, which was much smaller than Tiamat, when you hit Tiamat, you suspect it'll probably be, maybe 32 D4 or maybe 64 D4 damage.
Or maybe even 48.
Well, if you do Shillelagh, yeah, you could have 64 D8, and imagine critting on 64 D8.
My goodness.
I'm just saying, Smash Mouth has some potential.
Yeah, Smash Mouth is mad.
Like I said, these are very purpose-built devices. But I'm glad everything went well with Aladrin. I couldn't have done it better.
Yeah.
You were eaten by a Kraken. Anyway, so I guess next week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Wait, is next week the 7th?
Next week is the 7th, yes. And Fion, if you've got time now, we can talk, you can talk with Arata if you want.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I guess, well, yeah, we can